think I almost got the other joints I'm about to try to do.
We live in the flesh. Oh, it hadn't even started yet.
I gotta share the video out. Fuck.
Yo, 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 yo. What we doing? It's on the flow. Game Dog University. Bulldog Youth. Holiday edition. It's holiday season. You know what I'm saying? Get your turkey bag. Make sure your dog's right. Big fella say, can you keep it real with yourself about you and your animals? You gonna be kennel blind all your life, or you gonna wake up? What we doing? You know, it's holiday season. What can you do to keep you and your yard safe within your travels? If you have to travel to go see your family, what some procedures and measures you can take to get home safe and make sure your animal's safe while you're away. You know, we got a couple pairs we're gonna bust down tonight. What we doing, big fella?
Yeah, we about to get to it, man. But you know what I'm saying? Seeing the truth within yourself and your yard, which seems to be a very big problem in our community. So, but yeah, respect, salute.
Havoc
All
360
right, give me a
salute.
second break. I'm about to walk in the house, breaker. Give me a second.
Walnut, PA, what's happening? Yeah, we gonna let it charge up for a second though. We rocking. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody. Gravy Train, I see you, my boy. Bad bet. Salute. Big time. We finna try to get y'all a little news you can use if you already don't got the news, you know what I'm saying? Wait till big fella come back real fast, see where you wanna go with this. But yeah. When you traveling, if you traveling, you gotta travel for the holidays. What you doing? What kind of measures can you take to make sure your dog's safe? Do you got somebody to look after? You got a yard guy or one or lady? Um, do you have extra amenities in your house? Do you got extra, thermal equipment for your animal to be able to stay safe in the harsh conditions? They say Santa only come when it's snow. Can your dog survive when it's snow on the ground? If you don't have an indoor facility for it, everybody might not be big time. What we doing?
That's very true, man, because you know what I'm saying? That's a conversation a lot of motherfuckers, a lot of people don't like to they don't like to talk about. A lot of dog men, even I seen a dog man recently um talk about, well, I guess they was watching one of our lives, and they I seen they had posted um what all we sacrificed to be in these bulldogs, because everybody ain't got solid family you can leave the dogs with when you go on vacation, or somebody you could depend on to clean and feed the yard, or even just check on the yard while you out of town. A lot of people ain't got that luxury, I should say.
Yeah, and for the ones that do have that luxury, even if you got that luxury, you still gonna be kind of uneasy until you get back and put your eyes on the animal. It's a lot of things. I think no matter your size or how many you got, most of the time it's probably like a 2 3 day limit unless you got somebody really really particular that you know your animal hands gonna take care of your animal real just as about the same as it's nothing better than having your being hands on and being able to do it yourself. That way it's done. But hey, everybody that all the do it yourself ones might not do it right you know
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, everybody different, man, because you got certain people who they only take a weekend, so they'll leave from Friday to Sunday, overfeed during the week, which is not bad. Uh, when I got up to a certain amount, that's what I started doing. So when I go out of town, I leave like Friday morning, no later than Friday afternoon. Then I'm back by Sunday night or Monday morning. So the benefit of that, you get to go out of town more.
yeah
Just leaving those 3 days right there. Um, Once you start to stretch it out to a week or two, then you really got to have some dependable people. Cause if
yeah
your dog, if you got a private yard, if your yard private, if your yard private, you can get away if you overfeed during the week and you leaving for 3 days at a time. Technically, you
you cut out big fella.
in 3 days if you overfeeding. You know what I'm saying? As long as they got water.
Yeah, yeah.
But once you, like I said, once you start to get to that week, you got to have, you at least got to have somebody to fill up them bowls after that 3 days at least, so
Yeah,
so you don't come back to goddamn skin and bones.
bingo,
You know
bingo.
what I'm saying? So
So how vital, how important do you think it is to be able to look at yourself first and say, uh, I might not be the dog man I think I am. I know I ain't doing what I supposed to be. I got the dogs in deplorable condition, and I have to accept it. And secondly, look within your yard and use that same discretion and realize that even though you might love them and they might be bred not bought, that this product that you got may not be what you think is cracked up to be. How vital is that, big fella?
you said how vital is that?
Yeah. How vital or
Shit,
detrimental it could be if you can't do that.
that's very well. I mean, just from my perspective, it's a lot of guys who, again, I'm gonna put it this way: it's a lot of people who never fed a dog over 5 years old. A successful dog, I should say, over the age of 5. A lot of people never done that, and the reason for that is because every 2 to 5 years they got a whole new yard because they getting so caught up on the pedigree and the favoritism that you're not seeing what's in front of you because the dog gonna show you everything.
Yeah.
The dog can't speak, but the dog can show you everything you need to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a fact.
So that You got to be honest with yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
like
You got to think about it like this, like my uncle and them used to say. When you working, you ain't gonna cheat yourself out of money. So don't
right.
do it with the dogs. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Same.
that's a big fact. I mean, everybody may not be able to accomplish that or or go against that, but I think the faster you do, you put yourself and the animals in a better position. So, you know, try to stay as real as you can. Look through the smoke and keep your boots on the ground and your hands on, and you know it puts you in a better position to be able to tell these things and cycle through some of these things. If not, it could be a long day, a long month, some long years, you know, and you still might not get it right.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
You feed you feed ham. You giving the leftover ham for the holidays.
We do beef and lamb, man. Beef and lamb. You know what I'm saying? That pork make you worm more.
Oh,
We
oh,
ain't sure.
oh.
We don't want to be running no goddamn deworming dogs 24/7.
So you saying like if you could feed pork, but you might end up with a higher maintenance bill on the back end.
Yeah. Moderations. If I was to feed pork, honestly, if I was to feed pork, I probably would do it during the winter time. If I was to, I wouldn't do it during the summer
Right, right, right.
for certain reasons.
Yeah, it's a little bit more nastier in the summer. You know, when it's that heat out, they say the maggots and the flies come out of that swine. So I could dig it.
So I wouldn't mess with it during the summer.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. So who we got? We got Vinny in here. What's happening? Rapping and Selma. What's happening?
You said going Vinny.
Vinny, it's a few people in here. You know, it's still kind of fresh. We're at the 10-minute mark. We just popped out on these folks.
Yeah, I didn't even. Most people don't ain't got no share.
You know, if you got some yams with not too much cinnamon and sugar in them, little greens, you might be able to get that to your animal. You know, you might be pleased with the results. You know, I give him a little turkey too, big fella. I don't know about you.
You said
Give him
turkey.
a little turkey. Give him a little turkey.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I feed that on a regular. But what I was gonna say was as far as the going out of town shit, like um, normally as far as uh, as far as like the feed, like if I was leaving next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that whole week I'm feeding. I mean, honestly, it depends on the dog. It depends on the dog, but mostly I'm feeding them a lot of fatty things, heavy things and fat content. Because remember, they're gonna be on the chain anyway,
Right.
and then they not gonna eat for 3 4 days. So it all depend, man. A lot of depend on how you doing everything, man. All that shit just depend, bro. It's certain people come back after 4 days, they goddamn dog dead. You know,
Yeah.
Say this is switch switch over.
It definitely can get sticky if you ain't situated properly. Real fast. Get real ugly real fast. And it's gonna be your fault.
I mean, the dog can't feed theyself. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be more responsible. Let me switch over so I can share this.
Yeah, but I definitely done went through times where vacation time or I wanted to go somewhere and because of the volume of dog or lack of having somebody to take care of 'em, plans get canceled. That happened a lot when you were avid animal owner. You know, tend to hold you down some. You had to be prepared for that. Whether it's pit bull, regular bull, chimpanzee, whatever. If you're an animal owner, it's a great deal of responsibility that comes with along with that.
So what you know about this dog on the background?
Yeah, let me check him. Let me check him out. Let me see what we looking at real fast, sir.
I didn't even look at it yet. Let me see.
Let me see here. See, we got Grand Champion Frontline Kennels Blade Icewood 7-time winner.
Yeah, 7 time.
Yeah, 7-time winner.
Let's
Look like he off with Scooter Book, 2-time winner in front lines. Vayner, 1-time winner. See what's behind him.
Huh. Who
He
got some
got
of that?
some.
You?
He got some Havana boys. Nah, this was just a pet I ran across. He got the Havana boy, Jumping Jack Flash, Ozzie Stevens, Virgil, the yellow. Got the yellow book and the red lift book is in him on the top. See what the bottom look like.
And that's a male. What female you'll put with that?
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, just really more buck bull. He got that Buster Brown dog in it too. Uh, Historically speaking, like something.
Yeah, if you could choose any female to put with that and go for gold, who you putting it with?
Mm,
Oh, you got the buckets. Double grade on buckets in the 4.
yeah, man, it's a lot of ways. Let me look at that dog one more time, baby. Mm, man, I'll go. Historically, I just put him on top of Honey Bunch.
Honey
See how
bunch.
that work. See how that work. You know.
So why honey bunch? I thought you were gonna say another female.
Um, Cause the dog is based on a highly productive line of animals, slightly crossed. So I'm just gonna try to match the production and keep it going as much as possible with Honey Bunch, her being the top rum dog, you know.
The
This
production
dog
line.
being the dog being the grand. Sorry.
No, I say that. I say you want to improve, but keep that production line rolling.
Yeah. Honey Bun's just what came off the top of my mind. Like, okay, a good bitch. You know, I would have been digging because it could have went a lot of ways trying to match. You know, the formula up or just your preference of animal. But I just Honey Bun's like a give and go to top run bitch. He a champion, so grand champion. So the performance there. So match that with production. Should be, should come out good. Who you go with, big fella?
Well, looking at that fourth, uh, hmm, looking at that fourth, I probably would do Dirty Murray.
I was
Looking
gonna
at
say
that
Dirty
fourth,
Mary, Dirty Mary or Queen, cause they heavy bowling your buck presence back there.
I would take it to Dirty Murray if it was me.
Yeah, I bet, bro. Look like that. Hold on.
Well,
I
hold
think
on.
he dog of the year too.
What year is this? 2012. Pose it.
I don't do second place.
Nah, they just had him on the Sporting Dog Journal. That's it. Who else we got? Who else can we profile? My good brother.
Hold on. I wonder who his siblings is. I want to see something.
Check out his siblings. See, we haven't got one posted. Sonny. He didn't
Oh,
get it.
that's what it was. That's what it was. So breaker.
Yeah.
So somebody asked me. I'm glad I just thought about that. I'm watching something that made it pop up in my head. So somebody had asked me. Oh, let me hit him. He's probably on Facebook. I wonder if he's seen it. But he asked me. And it's funny. I wasn't even thinking about that. It go back with what we just talking about. So say you was say you had a job where you had to travel, right?
Right.
And the job required you to be basically you home for 2 weeks of the month and you gone for 2 weeks of the month. So first week of the month, you gone, second week you home. Third week you gone, fourth week you home. So if your schedule is like that and you did have a KP, but the KP ain't he was new in the game, so he knew how to feed and clean and the basic stuff. But to keep the dogs in 60% working mode, he asked, how would you go about keeping the dog ready uh, um, ready for a hog hunt, with you not being there out of the 30 days in a month? You only there for 14 to 16 days of the month.
I would try to implement a routine where the KP could see what I'm doing with the animals. I would try to keep it if I'm, for the times that I'm not there to supervise it, I would try to keep it minimal, but a steady routine with something, it's not too much risk into it for the handler getting hurt or the animal. Um on the
Okay.
weeks I was there, I would definitely make sure a lot of the internal work on the dog was done via deworming and a lot of the cleansing, internal cleanings you can do to the animal. And I would just try to let him walk the animal, walk or e-bike or bike, whatever you could do to keep the apple, what I'm saying, the animal walks. If you got one or two that'll play tug of war. Tug of war is a good sporting exercise that you could do, especially if you hog hunting. It's teaching it to hold. It's friendly. And we wouldn't be getting the idea of anything deemed unnecessary with that. Yeah, probably just walking. It depending on if your handler. You said the handler was new, so I would be trying to teach the handler as much as I could, not try to overload him. Teach him a lot of the basic stuff, and yeah, if nothing else, just walk. Walk in a little tug of war, something where you ain't really got to keep taking the dogs in and out the cages or whatever type of setup you got them on. That's the only thing I can come with. I think that would be my best out. Or the other out is you ain't gonna be able to. Well, you already got a kennel pot and you got dogs, but the other out is you probably wouldn't be able to have the dogs because you would be gone too much.
So another one. Historically speaking, uh, if you had a dog, if you had a dog, if you had a dog that was uh that was straightforward, historically speaking,
All right.
and you're not too public, and you don't have that much access to some of the dogs you really need to get to, and you down.
Is this straightforward animal, a male or a female, or it don't matter?
Let's say you got one of both, but
Okay.
let's say let's say the female won't scratch. She'll do everything you ask. She just won't scratch. And let's say the male, he do everything you want him to do, but he be turning a little bit. He ain't jump on you. He ain't standing there on all fours just looking
Yeah, he
at you.
be he be avoiding the hog. He be avoiding contact with the hog. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. So if you got a male that do that and a female who won't scratch, that's the only flaw with both of them. And somebody asks you what should be their next move, what type of advice you got for them? Mind you, they got connects, but they ain't that connected. And then they not about to go out and buy a whole bunch of dogs. So they stuck in the jam. What would be your advice to them, your honest opinion to them?
Oh man, I'm gonna give you the silver approach, and then I'm gonna give you the
Both of them 3 years old. Both of them 3 years old.
I'm gonna give you the silver approach first. Then I'm gonna give you the Game Dog University Bulldog You. First off, I would try to take the male. If he's avoiding contact, he's still showing effort, but I done seen him duck a hog coming towards him, or have a hog behind the ear and let it go, or lose focus or whatever. I would definitely try to find within my resources the most straightforward female, if that was available. If I was in that mindset to try to move forward with that animal, I loved him, you know. That was my buddy, and I wanted to breed him. You know, that's what I'd be trying to do. With the female, it would be the same too. I would be trying to find the gamest male to put on top of her. You know, to try to uh induce her interest to go towards the hog. You know, that's the silver answer. The bulldog you answer is no, 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 big fella, no, no, no. Listen, dog food, gravy train, $30, for probably 40 pounds. You know, um, there's a lot of great animals out here. You know, again, you just said profile yourself in your yard. Is you gonna tell the truth about it or not? You know, I don't want to deter anyone from trying to, you know, do that with their animals, but you know, this is the a little bit more direct answer. Start over, or you might be able to do something with the male. The female, unless she a hog murderer, destruct everything, and they've got some maturity on them. No, no, it's time to go. It's time to go. You have to start over and try to go within your network again and try to get you something a little better. Because again, you're gonna waste a lot of time and effort, and you know we all gotta go to the box one day. So in your days, you might well be trying to get you a you might as well enhance your chances of getting something great instead of being mediocre. Unless you're okay with mediocre. What you gonna do in that situation, big fella?
Ah, boy. Well, honestly, depending on depending on what we sit and take a vote on, as far as everybody on my side, uh, we goddamn crushing it and rebuilding. I mean, now, yeah, like I said, it depends on
Hold
what
on,
we.
big fella. I gotta throw a corkscrew in it. What about if the blood's there and it's your family blood, what y'all been running for 10 or 15 years, and you just love them oh so dear because you done seen them and you done fed them all, and you just feel like you just got to give it a chance. Now what?
Well, that come with some stipulations because again, that's why the bulldog game and the street racing game go hand in hand with the terms, because if it's my family blood that I done built up, if I done built it up, it might just need a tune up.
Yeah,
Certain people you can listen to the motor and know what it needs. So I might need to bring something back from the fourth generation to the front. I might need to bring something back from the goddamn second bottom side up to the front top side. So being the family blood and all of that, um, being the family blood, that's not going to give you a advantage for me to give you another chance over a dog that's not the family blood. But the only difference with why most people do it, um, is because they know certain things about that blood more than they know about other dogs that they might take a chance with and breed it and then fix the issue. They just know at some point they know this dog did that, but you got to look for it in the offspring also. So out of 10 puppies, you might get three that do it if you examine them properly. So just because it's a part of the family, I'm not going to show you no favoritism, because at the end of the day, you represent me. So just
right,
because
right, right, right. Salute,
just because it's family, that ain't gonna give you no advantage when it comes to my judging at the end of the day. But like I said, it's just like that old car that your grandfather might have had for 46 years. he know it ain't running right, so he might gotta add something or take something out of it and redo it. Some people will take the chance and breed it and definitely get something better. Some people might do it and get something worse. So it's all about the individual and being honest with yourself, though. At the end of the day, if you ain't honest with yourself, then if you ain't honest with yourself, don't none of that shit matter.
Salute John Johnson, Kansas City. I think that's what he say. KS, Kansas City or Kansas in the building. You know what I'm saying? We got Mr. JJ, the honorable Mr. JJ in the building. Let me know something.
You said Kansas, Case. Oh
What's
yeah,
going on?
Kansas City.
What's going on, man?
Shit, not much.
Hey, Mr. JJ, how important do you think it is to be able to be honest with yourself about yourself and what you doing or not doing with the dogs, and also take that same clarity and be able to look at survey your yard and be honest about what you got?
I mean, that's the number one thing. You got to know what I'm understanding, what I'm looking at, and trusting what I'm looking at. But also understanding once you set a particular standard for what you want in a dog, a family of dogs, if a particular animal ain't displaying those attributes or you're not seeing those particular traits, then based on what you told yourself is a non-negotiable, you got to make adjustments.
Right.
But again, those are things that I can't say you can put them in concrete because every situation ain't the same. Everything ain't set in concrete when we're talking about these dogs, living animals. But you still must give yourself some type of baseline to operate from and be able to make pivots off that based on a lot of different factors, depending on particular bloods, yard size, what I can keep, what I can't keep, what I got going on, what I'm planning on doing with this dog. All those things determine the dog I'm judging, his value to me and to what I'm trying to get done, whether it's breeding dogs, whether that's racing dogs. Because the same, I look at the breeder dog. If I'm just a breeder, say if I'm somebody I'm just looking to breed dogs. A breeder's eye is a different eye and a different evaluation process from somebody who's looking to race dogs. So again, we can't confuse the two. When we look at somebody who's breeding dogs and why they bred a dog versus if you are racing dogs and if you're looking at adding a particular blood or you're looking at doing a breeding for racing purposes, you can't use that same evaluation process as somebody who's just breeding dogs. It should be similar processes, but to me, it's not the same. Because we joke a lot about blood. And for breeders, that's what they're going on. A genetic platform that I'm looking at continuing. But that's why most breeders, successful breeders, they stick with a particular dog, a particular breeding pair, or a particular strand of blood, family of dogs. And they stay within that. Because if I'm just looking at breeding dogs, I'll take a chance on a dog that may be cold. I'll take a chance on a dog that's not as talented, but bred a certain way. Because, quote unquote, the blood is there. Because if I go solely on performance, and I'm just simply breeding on performance, I'm going to have a whole bunch of different genetics in my program. And now a certain level of consistency is not going to be there because you got these genes, these dogs mature at a certain level, these dogs with these particular traits, this dog is known for this, these dogs are known for that, these dogs got these inherited issues, these dogs got bad skin, these dogs got weak teeth, these dogs are known to be cowhogs, these dogs are known to have weak pastures. So when you're constantly adding or you do a breeding or outcross, those are things you also got to factor in. Also, let's say you're running Jeep Red Boy dogs, right? and you
Right.
want to add in some. You say, you know what, I'm gonna do an outcross on some turtle buster stuff, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
breed to one turtle buster dog to your best female, and you get those pups, and you make a judgment on those pups. Still, you're not making a fair judgment on the particular cross that you made. Let's say all them pups don't work out. That stuff didn't work out for me. I don't want to mess with it. That's because you're doing a one-off. Anytime you're doing an outcross, just in my personal opinion, you can't do just a one-off. Because the one dog you breed to may not be the one that's carrying the traits you want. Even though he may display them, he got to produce them. So anytime you're doing an outcross, me personally, I suggest you got to do at least the 2 to 3 different dogs or 2 to 3 different breeds, just to have a fair assessment of what I'm gonna breed to this particular dog that may be outcross already on the stuff I got. So there's common ancestry there, plus the outcross I'm using. Then I may breed to a dog that's super heavy inbreed on a particular cross I'm looking at using. Or I also may breed to a dog that's loose line bred on a particular cross that I'm using. So now I'm breeding to this stuff line bred, I'm breeding to this stuff tight inbred, and I'm breeding to this stuff already got cut on it that makes sense with what I already got. Because you may breed to this outcross and breeding to it in its inbred form may work for you. Line breeding may work for it because now I'm introducing a set of genetics I have never worked with before. So I need to see which version of these new genetics I'm adding to my stuff is going to work. So, that's where when you're outcrossing, being true to yourself, giving the dogs a fair shot, understanding what you're looking at, understanding what's a good dog. So again, once you set that standard for yourself, yes, you have that standard, but again, you can't be concrete on, this is a non-negotiable. If the dog ain't doing this, I can't do nothing with it. Then sometimes you may find yourself behind the 8 ball, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You have some people only breeding to accomplished animals. Doesn't mean that's the wrong thing because they're going off of known traits. I'm breeding to dogs that have displayed these particular traits, and I'm going with the known trait. You got some people will look at how the pedigree stack, and he's coming off a certain caliber dogs. He should produce because you got some people that do that. So it just depends on your standards. You may get a dog. Let's say you got a family bred dog that you produce, but that dog isn't showing particular traits. You still may say, hey, even though this dog ain't showing the traits this family stuff is known for, the way it's bred up, I'll give it a shot. But that's a decision you got to make up. Anytime you stick 2 dogs together, it's a gamble. There's no sure thing because we can't tell Mother Nature, I want this pup to have these traits. I want these pups to have these traits. You know what I'm saying? It don't work that way. So anytime you do a breeding, it's a gamble. But you want to try to have as many known variables as you can when you do a breed, whether it's accomplished title dogs, I know this dog does X, Y, Z, or I know this blood bred this way is known to give you ABC 1, 2, 3. And you just make that decision, you do it, and you run with it, and you keep it moving, keep it funky. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And Vinny, and you explaining exactly what Vinny just said. Vinny said individual standards is what separate dog men from each other.
Correct. Because think
I
about it.
couldn't agree more.
Think about it. If everybody did the same exact thing, the same exact way, you wouldn't have the different bloodlines and the different traits we have today. Because all the dogs would have been the same thing from the beginning of time. This man likes a heavy mouth dog. This man likes a gamer dog. This man likes, a super powerful dog. This man likes a longer bodied dog because he feels like the dogs carry more natural air. This man likes a squattier dog. This man likes a long mouth dog. This man likes a more box head dog. You know what I'm saying? Just on the physical traits. All those things make up the different looks, the different bloodlines, the different traits that we have today. So it makes the game, what it is.
Correct. So Mr. JJ, it's holiday season. What's some provisions that you could take if you had somebody to take care of your animal while if you had vacation time or if you didn't?
Hmm. I mean, as far as like with the weather, super, if I'm, cause 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be around my animals. Cause I don't do the, but if I had to leave for holiday travel, whatever, it'll be somebody I know understands the dog, the nature of these animals. Somebody that I can trust can handle my dogs if particular situations occur, i.e., somebody happens to decide I don't want to be cooped up today, get loose and run around and understand what comes with, a dog that potentially is running around on the yard. Versus just leaving my son at the house, he'd be able to watch the dogs, you know what I'm saying? A situation like that. The next day, you get the phone call, daddy, dogs out here, dancing with each other. So, you want to make sure whoever you leave. I had a situation where from home, I was out of town. I called some of my homeboys, hey, I'm be gone for X amount of days. Here's the key to the house. But that's somebody I can trust that's going to, come to my house the same time every day to make sure everybody, fed, everybody's secured. Everybody's in safe situations. So, there's no issues if I'm not at the house as far as just, me being away from the house. In the winter, if we look, I'm at home and you talking about just real bad winter conditions like we've been having recently. There's my guys up north, me personally down south, dealing with inches and feet of snow. We don't really deal with that. So having a game plan for that really ain't nothing. We have a game plan. Hey, it's 3 feet of snow, 3 feet of snow on the ground. What do I do with my animal? Luckily we never had that situation. But as far as extreme cold weather, as the weather's changed, I feed a little extra, put a little more calories in the food, just so they're carrying, natural body weight. Depending on the dog, some carry weight better. Some, you got to give them even more, add a little bit more supplement. But the main thing I do, and for ones that are outside in the wintertime, maybe a cup and a half extra dog food. I do a teaspoon of coconut oil, and I go up to 2 eggs, whole eggs per dog. Just to have them fat, have them calories in their diet. So
Right. You got something extra to work with.
Yeah, And again, obviously you're gonna make sure dog houses are sealed up. If you got a wooden house, make sure it ain't catching wind, or if you know how the wind blows on your yard, you maybe can shift dog house. To say, hey, if the wind blows north,
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
turn it south with the wind hitting the back of the house or the side of the house versus blowing dead into the dog house. Or depending on, how the dog yard is, sun rises in the east, sets in the west. If I want my dogs having access early in the morning when that sun is up, they can do their sunbathing first part of the day. As that sun sets, is on the back side of their house. So, just things like that I've, learned, or, things that have been pointed out to me. Asking those questions. Hey, why these dog houses all turned this way? I turn them this way because up here the wind blows this way, so I turn them this way. Or the sun hits on the yard this way, so to make sure they get good sun exposure, I have them turn this way, and things like that I've asked questions on. Hey, because you may go to your yard like these dog houses all slanted a certain way. Like, why are they slanted this
Yes,
direction
sir.
versus all of them? You know what I'm saying? So, and you ask that question, hey, why you got the dog house turned this way? You get an answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And things like that, you can go back to your yard and be like, hey, you know what? The wind does blow this way on my yard. And it's blowing directly into the doghouse because regardless how much straw you got in there, if the wind blowing dead into the doghouse, he's still gonna catch hell. You know what I'm saying? Versus if I got
That's
that straw in
absolutely.
there, we bundle up, but I got the house turned where the wind catching the side of the house or the back of the house, then he don't have to fight off keeping himself warm and fighting that wind that's coming in, beating on him.
Absolutely.
Just little shit like that you don't think about until you see somebody or see a particular situation, you ask that question, then you be like, oh, that does make sense. You know what I'm saying? With something I never thought about till I seen the guy had his house all kind of turned angle. I'm like, what the fuck going on? I asked the question. He gave me an answer. He's like, hey, I do it because the wind, where my house is and the wind. And like, you know what? That does make sense. But they, that's something you don't think about on the average, because who thinks about how the wind blow in their yard in the wintertime? You know what I'm saying? Because down south, we don't really get extremely, we get cold, but it ain't like -10 and wind gusts up and yada yada down south, so.
Right.
But being on the yard up north and seeing it, like, hey, when you got it done this way, you get an answer. So when you come back home, you be like, you know what? My house, the sun does hit this way on these dog houses, and I can, when they change it up, it gives them more sun exposure, fighting against the wind if it does get cold down south, and you can turn them this way, where, just stuff like that you pick up,
That's a
as
fact.
talking to people and looking at yards, and always looking to gain to be a little bit better than you was, the day before. How can I be a better dog man? Before, like you said, just taking care of my animals. Before we even get to the racing and the breeding, just the everyday life. How can I make sure they're in the best conditions possible before? Because again, if they're not living in the best conditions possible, before we get to the breeding and the racing, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Right. That's facts. I mean, I think all that count, I definitely try to take precautions of the placement of whatever type of setup I'm gonna use to house the animal at.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and like you said, I I done been in some cold winters, but not extreme harsh winters, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
yeah.
it all it's you know what I'm saying? It's all
It all plays a part.
yeah, it all plays a part. You know what I'm saying? You might be privileged to have dog houses with insulation in them,
Correct.
with heated pads. You know what I'm saying? The electric pads that this thing.
Yeah,
Them just different provisions that if you
yeah,
able to do them type of things, you could do that. You know what I'm saying? You can
yeah,
put the
yeah. That
plastic
is true.
or the thick rubber on the entrance to the doors to keep the
The,
wind out. You know what I'm
the
saying?
flap.
You
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
have
yeah.
the double wall houses so they can go in and then turn the corner and go in another
Correct.
spot. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
I mean, it's
Correct.
just different things, like you said, depending on what environment you in, what region you
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
You find different tricks of the trade that can help you along the way.
yeah. Definitely. If I was up north, like you said, them double insulated dog houses, and not saying being down south you wouldn't need it, but I mean, I'm South Carolina, Georgia. You really, you like you get some cold days, you get some extremely cold weeks, but it ain't when you talking 40 degrees, 30 degrees. That ain't nothing compared to people talking about they got dogs and it's 1 degree. You know what I'm saying? It don't even sound right saying being down south. You know what I'm saying? It's a degree outside, or it's -5, and it's a foot of snow on the ground. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to deal with that. So the provisions we keep our dogs in, whether it's a wooden dog house or a barrel or whatever, for the most part, suffices for being down south. Because in the summertime, when it's extremely hot, you want something a little bit thinner, something that can breathe a little bit, airflow and things like that. So, but
I
yeah,
think that's the balance. I think that's the balance. You just said something then, in regions where it might not get as cold as some regions where it's extreme
yeah,
at you
yeah,
gonna in the summertime the heat is just as worse or if not
this
as
is
worse
worse. Yeah,
as the
like
cold. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a guy. He had like heated water bowls each for all his dogs. You know what I'm saying? But he lives up north where they get extreme cold. Down south, having heated water bowls is not a bad thing, but how often will I actually cut that thing on and knock the frost out of the water bowl? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that investment, I think, wouldn't be, not saying it wouldn't be a smart investment, not saying it would be a wasted investment. It would just be an investment that I wouldn't get no benefit out of, because for the days it does get cold and the water bucket might freeze up on top, I can take my shovel or hit the side of the bucket or break the ice up, and boom, we back to business. It ain't frozen into an ice block being down south. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes,
like you
sir.
said, with the double insulated or the dog house where they can go in and go into like a little back room or something like that. fight wind or extreme cold. So that's just like you say, you make those again. You make those adjustments based on where you live at, what you got access to. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford to have I got X amount of dogs, and I can't afford to have every one of them with heated water bowl because now I got to run cords everywhere, and somebody get off and chewing on the cord. You know what I'm saying? I also got to look at that because I got dogs on the chain and not dogs kept up top in a box. So just different. Like I said, that's where making that adjustment of what do I need and what is overkill. You know what I'm saying?
Elevated kennels, man. What's going on? What extra precautions you got to do, man? Knocking all
So,
the wind
fellas.
off for you up there on that hill, man.
Uh, so mainly I just straw pretty heavy. Uh, I switched the kind of food I use. I don't really feed much more, but I've switched the kind I use. And then I got it's the bottom of a 50-gallon drum, like up to the first rib on the side of the barrel. I cut it off, and the food I feed, I pour in there, and then I fill it up with water, and I'll leave it sitting for like 20 minutes or something, and then I'll go back and feed that in the winter, like soaked food instead of just dry food.
Yes,
Other than
sir.
that, I do everything else the same.
So I'm sure if you didn't have a provision of your animals, you probably wouldn't go nowhere. But being it's the holidays, if you did have a kennel partner or somebody to look over your yard, how many days would you consider leaving or going out for the holidays?
I can't never leave more than two. I can't never be going more than 2 days.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
I think you got a little bit more volume dogs. You know what I'm saying? Than
yeah,
than, than the average person. So I can definitely understand that.
yeah. I don't really. I've had people feed them and stuff, but I don't really like to do that. I don't know. It's just not the same thing. They don't know how much each
Yes,
dog needs and
sir.
all this stuff, so
Yes, sir.
it's just not the
Somebody
same
else
thing.
eye and your eye is different, especially when they dealing with your stuff.
Yep,
That's
that
a
is
big
Yeah,
true.
that's
factor,
very true.
Mondo.
Very true.
It's a big factor, Mondo, man. Big fella got the link up there, man. Anybody want to come up, tap in, man. Give us some news we can use. William Torres, salute.
Now I do have blue barrels right now, and me and my brother's been coming up with some ideas to build some dog houses, like insulated dog houses. So I've been shooting up a couple ideas. Before next winter, I will have insulated dog houses for everybody,
Yeah,
just as a precaution. It ain't like they really need it, but it would, it make me feel better.
make you feel better. Hey, if it make you feel good, you got a setup that you can feel good about. It make you sleep better at night.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I think, well, big fella asked me, if you had, a two animals, a male and a female, about they up age, they about 2.5, 3.
Hmm.
One of them, the female, she has a lot of she has a lot of mouth, but she has no prey drive. She won't go towards anything. And the male, he has prey drive, but he's not necessarily straightforward. Like you seen him on the hog, and one time the hog was coming towards him. He dot does dodge the contact. You know what I'm saying? Something around that area. What could you do with them animals to move forward, or would you move forward with them?
Mm, really, it all just depends on what you're looking for and how it's bred and what you're willing to like. How many generations you're willing to put up with it to go forward.
Ooh.
really. Because
With
depending, I
that,
mean, some people's willing over certain dogs. Some people's willing to put up with stuff nobody would ever put up with out of other dogs. So,
hey, sometimes they yield good results because of that. You know,
yep, yep.
parental discretion advised though.
I
That ain't
mean,
for everybody.
in my opinion, and if they both had the traits you were talking about, I mean, you got a good enough chance of breeding them together and just assessing the offspring as you do going any other option.
That's definitely an option, elevated. That's why I asked. Everybody got a different opinion about it.
Yeah, you
I
just have
gave
to be strict, real
yeah,
strict on the culling.
I gave a civilian answer to it, and I gave a bulldog you answer to it. My civilian answer was what you just said. The other answer was pick another m- pick another couple to move forward with. But
Yeah,
that's two different mindsets.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and depending on if you think the blood's there or not. It
You see
could
what
be
SBC Kendall said?
what he say.
I just pinned it up there.
SBC say look them in the eyes with a stern look and tell them these dogs are very important to me. Absolutely. Big salute to that. You gotta tell them that so they know that. They got to know that.
So
They must
so
know that.
so so hold on. He said people will put them dogs out there without schooling. That's them gamblers, man. That's a heavy gambler, man. That's a heavy gambler. You know what I'm saying? It's not even well, let me take that back. That's not always a heavy gambler with taking them out without school. Some people could see something in the dog once and just seeing that, depending on the person, they might think that dog might not need no schooling. They might think that dog is one of them freak of nature dogs that we read about in the magazines, or certain very gifted dogs that just so happen to bless the dog community with offsprings. That's one of them things.
Yeah. Salute GHK in the building, going hard. Kennels reloaded. I don't know if it's Michael Mo. Salute. The link in the chat. If y'all want to come up and pop it, you could tell us a story about what you had to do. If you could share the holidays with your family, if you had to go, couple more things. We else said had some. Oh yeah, you had discussed that, Mister. What's on your feet?
He said all dogs need school. I don't care how great. Yeah, that's true.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I mean,
You
all
cannot
the
take
rule,
that
the rule.
dog out there in the woods and think you finna go catch a 300-pound hog without schooling him out.
I
That's a
mean,
fact.
Makes no sense.
that's the rule of thumb that we all, most people go by. But there are examples, and I know of examples where a dog was school. Well, I can't really call it cool. Looked at once, and a decision was made on it. You know what I'm saying? And was successful with that. So again, those are one of those things where you just going with it and damn all the hell with the results are. But again, like I say, those type of dogs and those type of stories, successful stories, are far and few between that I know of. Not saying to somebody else that might be their rule of thumb, but I know of a particular animal, maybe 10 minutes, and decision was made on him, and he went out there successful, and it didn't take all night, but he was an exceptional animal, and a decision was made on him. But like you say, the rule of thumb is to kind of give an animal or give a dog all different kinds of looks, just to show him, hey, this is what you do in this situation, or so the dog can understand you get put in this situation, this is what you need to do. So that dog is a more well-rounded animal. I agree with that, but there are situations where that ain't the case for all dogs. You know, there are some situations where 5 or 10 minutes. Hey, let's get them on the trailer and let's go. And we're ended up being successful. But again, everybody can't. You know, that's not a rule of thumb that should be a everyday mode of operation, because that's not a everyday mode of operation with these particular dogs. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like going back to, you know, breeding the cold dogs. You know, you might be successful doing it once, but nobody's making that their number one option in the program. I'm just breeding straight cold animal. Nobody's doing that. But they'll make it seem like the one they did breed that did work out. Oh, this is what we do. This is what I do. I refuse to believe that. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have the dogs you have. But again, it all goes back to the chance you take and the gamble you take based on the decision you make and what each man decides he want to do. Whether it's, you got some people, I wouldn't give a damn. This bitch could be bred off the greatest dogs of all time. If this animal is a cool animal, that dog gets no look on the yard to be bred or to be anything. You know, some people say, well, that even though the dog cold, look how the dog bred. I think she might throw something. You know what I'm saying? But you're still taking a swing on an unknown variable, because a piece of paper, regardless of how lit up it is still an unknown variable, because this dog still has to prove its capabilities of doing what you want it to do. You know. And my thing, as much as I can, I want to go with known variables. You know, I can say this dog does this, and this. Even if a dog lacks something, I can still make a better decision on the breeding pair for this particular dog. Hey, she doesn't have this. Let me try to add a male coming off a family dog that's known for that trait and put her with them to see if I can find that balance. Versus, I got a female. I don't know. She doesn't do anything. All she do is eat dog food. That's the only thing I know she can do. She shit all day and she eat dog food. So now I got to make a decision based on a piece of paper to say this is the best matchup for me to breed her to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there are some examples where that has worked. But again, you're taking a risk. You got to know I'm breeding this dog, not just one time. I'm breeding this female multiple times, so I got numerous litters off of her to see exactly what she's giving me. Versus, hey, I got an ice cold female. I'm gonna breed her one time, and I know I'm getting something out of the litter because of look how her pedigree look. Nobody can. You can't make that claim. You can hope, hey, I'm gonna get this, and this based on the pedigree, but you're still going with the unknown variable. It's like saying, hey, I want you to make a gumbo with some recipes, or use a recipe you can't even read. You don't know. All I got the recipe, but I can't read it. I don't know what it is. But I got to put these ingredients together to make this gumbo the best it can. You're going to need to gather all your ingredients, because now I'm gonna make this one pot of gumbo. All right, I gotta see. Well, this didn't turn out right. I mean, I need more of this, and this. Boom, I'm gonna make another pot of gumbo. Well, damn, I put too much of this in this time. Now I gotta make another pot of gumbo till I find that balance. Because I'm breeding blind, I'm cooking gumbo blind. I don't know what goes in. I'm just putting stuff together. And I kind of equate that to when you breed a cold dog. And again, there's examples of cold dogs, you know, rewriting history. But it's still a chance you're taking on her giving you something based on what you put her to. If it works, shit, you look like a genius. If it don't work, I done spent time breeding this female, feeding these puppies, raising these puppies, for all of them to turn out to be duds. And time is something you can't get back. But that's the chance and that's the gamble you take when you make certain decisions on these dogs. Kind of like the schooling thing we just talked about. If I got a dog 10 minutes is all he had. You know what? Boom, we racing him. I'm taking a chance and a gamble on this dog going out there and proving me right. If it works, I can beat my chest and say, hey, this dog only got seen 10 minutes. If it don't work, I can't brag and say, all this dog was seen 10 minutes. Now we know
No,
this dog
for
ain't
real.
the dog ain't. So who gonna brag about that? So we all know the great stories of the cold dog that produced, the cold dog that produced. But what about all the hundreds of other stories for every awesome baby? How many other dog females out there that didn't do what awesome baby did? You see what I'm saying?
Don't say that, JJ. Don't say that.
But it's a fact because like the twins say, the dogs that don't work out, we don't hear about it.
That's a
And
fact.
think about people that had dogs bred like awesome baby or had a cold bitch they was in love with, but hell, they bred awesome baby and got champions and grand champions out of her. I can do the same thing with my female. Think about the number of females that, based on what awesome baby did, they got bred and didn't produce nothing. You always got to think about the other side of the coin. For every awesome baby, there's 100,000. Think about the number of females in this dog. Just let your mind imagine the number of females that have been bred in the dog game. Think about the thousands and 10,000s of dogs that have been females that have been bred that we know nothing about. The cold females that have been bred that produce nothing because this bitch was an ice cold block, and because I'm looking at Stone City with awesome baby, I'm gonna breed my bitch and don't get nothing. I'm gonna breed her again, don't get nothing because the blood's there. Or they told me the cold female is the one holding all the traits. How you know she holding all the traits till you breed her? Then when you find out whether she don't got the traits, then what? Because if the cold female hold all the traits or the cold dogs hold all the traits, the game will be littered with cold dogs being bred.
Hold on, Mr. JJ. Whoa, Mr. JJ. So you telling me that I got this 15-time bred title animal and she cold and I can't breed her and she ain't gonna give me
No.
nothing?
You can breed her. No, I'm not saying you can't breed her. You can breed her. You can take your time or your money, breed her, raise them pups and scoop dog shit every day and check chain spots and build insulated dog houses at a time. You can do all that.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, huh?
Is that what you want to do? You can
Okay
do
then.
that because it has been done. But at the
Yeah,
end of the day, that tree got to bear fruit.
yeah. And don't think you
And
got awesome
time,
baby.
and time is something you can't get back.
Facts.
You can never get that time back waiting on a litter. Because I bred this cold female because they told me the cold female hold all the traits. She hold all the genes because she cold. That's why she cold. If that's the case, the game will be littered with cold dogs being bred. And it's not. For every awesome baby, there's thousands of other females that you'll never hear about that didn't produce shit. Dogs like awesome baby are the exception. They're not the rule. Cold males that are Rom dogs or pure R dogs aren't the rule, they're the exception.
BKK Bulldog got a little interesting take. He say cold dogs are a genetic defect when it comes to inbreeding and line breeding. The difference in whether they're gonna produce or not is if the best dogs within that
Who that
family was used to
BKK in the
creating
chat?
them.
So
Link in the
if
chat
that's
if anybody want to come up.
That's
so if
BKK, Big Country.
if that's the case, we all should breed cold females. Now I'm gonna ask you this, Breaker. That's what
Yes,
you plan
sir.
on. You gonna breed just cold females?
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Cause I ain't got that much time. You know that ain't what I'm trying to base my program on. If I
But the
have
feet. Go
I
ahead. I'm
have
sorry.
a if I have exceptional animal that I just feel so highly on and I want to take that chance, that might be one chance I'm gonna take. I'm not gonna repeat that chance. And then even though then now you faced with the the situation of where if this animal work, it's always gonna be in the back of your mind that what it come off of and how dominant it is it's just gonna appear over and over.
When it when they
You
go
know.
when they go turn it up, when it's gonna show up again in your program.
Yeah, I ain't got time. I don't want to think because it's enough. You're gonna even without that presence of that cold animal, you still gonna have to deal with the do's and don'ts, the ups and downs of each individual animal. So I don't want to have to add that. I don't want to have to add that anxiety on me. You feel me?
Correct. But you've heard it before. The cold females or the cold dogs are the one that carry all that hold all the traits, and that's why they cold. You heard that before, right?
Yeah.
So again, why isn't the game littered with cold bred dogs? So for people to say that, I always ask that question because those dogs are the exception and not the rule.
Ooh, going hard. Say Dolly, Polly, awesome baby, MMMs, Miss K, all cold. Run. Why
True.
breed them? They had to
Come
know
up,
Again,
something.
twin. Come up,
They
twin.
knew
Link in the
something.
chat.
but I asked
They
the
knew
question though
something.
of those dogs that he named, how many other dogs that weren't cold that produced? So again, I asked the question, even with those dogs are great Hall of Fame dogs, why isn't breeding cold females just what everybody should be doing every day, all day? Or breeding cold dogs should be done every day, all day.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can name those Hall of Famers. But again, for every one of those females that you name, how many other cold females never produced anything? Of the thousands of dogs or hundreds of thousands of dogs that have been bred since the beginning of the game.
Right.
For every Miss K, you probably can name 5,000 females that were cold that were bred that didn't produce.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Out of them grades that going hard name, you know what I'm saying? You line them grades up against the other every other cold dog, and I think it's gonna be more leaning towards to cold dogs don't produce maybe as good as one that's proven or not even as good as them exceptions to that rule. You know
Correct.
what I'm saying? Because it is exceptions to that rule, and those some of those names prove that. You know what I'm saying? And I done seen not so worthy animals get bred and
Correct.
produce quality
Because
animals.
just in life in general, there's always exceptions in rules in life. It's like, perfect example, you look at Michael Jordan, his family, right? He's an exception to that. He's a genetic exception to his family. Everybody in his family just regular height people. He's 6'6". His daddy's short, mama's short, brother's short. They're all short people. They all look alike. He look just like his daddy, look like his brother, but he's the genetic anomaly out of that particular gene pool. All his kids aren't 6'6" like him, or have the same physical attributes that he has, because he's a genetic anomaly out of his gene pool, and he can't produce that, even though he is what he is. He's an exception to the rule. He's not the norm when you talking about the Jordan family genetics.
It's a fact.
So again, for the awesome babies, for the Miss K's, for all these cold dogs that have been bred that were, I call them the Hall of Famers, what about the hundreds and thousands of other cold females that didn't produce nothing? They got multiple bites that happened to produce dogs, but didn't produce anything. Or even the males. Think about all the cold males that on the ROM list, right? Think about all the hundreds of thousands of other cold males that somebody said, you know what, he bred a certain way, I breed him, they didn't produce nothing. So we should breed cold males as well? Because I'm pretty sure there's cold males on that ROM list.
Like, what about the difference in coldness? Like the different types of cold amongst families of dogs.
I mean, there's only one type of cold, in my opinion, a dog that won't engage it regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, if a dog engages and decide you don't want to engage anymore, that's clear.
BKK, the link in the chat, man. Come up, express yourself, man. Give us some news we can use. Mac Gravy, I agree. You know, I agree. If you
And
definitely
again,
got you know what you're looking at. Like BKK said with the with breeding, you know, a lot of the guesswork get taken out. You know, is your eye is the proof. You know, you done seen enough, you done did enough, you experienced enough. Yeah, you can make that call and be successful. I agree.
yeah, that's why you again. And I use the example. We all know the Hall of Fame breeders. When you stay within a certain family of dogs for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you bred the same family of dogs. You have way more working knowledge on what you should be looking at than me saying I'm coming to buy 2 puppies off you, and I have no working knowledge of what these dogs are supposed to be, how they're supposed to move, how they supposed to act at 6 months old, 6 weeks old, a year old, what I should be looking for, because I haven't seen enough of this particular family of dogs. That's why all the successful breeders in the history of the game, they bred a particular dog or a particular family of dogs over and over and over and over. Boy, them Eli dogs. Florida ain't had the Eli dog, but I had some boy dogs over here. I had some Jeep Red Boy chocolate dogs over here. It was them Eli dogs, and that was it. Al White with the tab dog. You know, Miss Marlowe with the Red Boy dog. She ain't have no Chinaman dogs up there. She bred them Red Boy dogs. Mr. Pat Patrick, the Bolio dogs. They wasn't playing with a whole bunch of other stuff. And when you're talking 10, 15, 20, 30 years of the same genetics, yes, you can see something in a dog that the average man can't see, because it's almost like the man that work at Ford. You drive your car up, he probably can tell you what's wrong with your car before you even get out the truck.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Hey,
I you know what I'm saying? I built this engine 37,000 times. I know what this engine should sound. I know how it should do. I know what it should look like.
hey, Mr. JJ, we got BKK in the building. What's up, sir?
Hold on, you got Adam.
I think I added him.
BKK, can you
He should be in here.
Yep.
Big Country?
Yo,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
we
we
can.
can.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, can I speak on this matter right quick?
Hey,
Absolutely.
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. All right, man, look, I talk about this all the time, and I think that's why a particular individual reached out to me to give me the link to this podcast. Okay, I've heard, people opinions. I teach all the time. Stay away from opinions. It don't mean nothing. It's either you know or you don't know. I'm hearing about anxiety, wasting time. All it is lack of knowledge. All right, when you're dealing with cold dogs it's a genetic defect, right? That just comes from tight inbreeding, tight line breeding. All right. Now, the difference of whether they're going to throw or not is based off of if the particular person used the right dogs within a family of dogs in order
Ding,
to
ding,
produce
ding,
that
ding,
cold
ding.
dog. All right.
Yep.
Meaning you can actually, there's people that actually take dogs and put pedigrees together, right? But the dogs that have that particular pedigree within the family, they don't have the desirable traits that dog is coming off of, or what it's supposed to represent. And so if you get a tight form of that and you get a cold dog, then you got a cold dog that's not going to throw you shit. Okay. But if you got the best of the best dogs within the family, that means the best dogs to represent that family tree, and a cold dog is represented, that son of a bitch gonna throw. Now, I'm gonna tell you another thing. So many people don't know what a cold dog is. What they're doing is they're calling their curs, dogs that quit, dogs that hadn't started up or stuff like that. They'll call them cold. You see what I'm saying? So people need to get educated on what a cold dog is. Now, if you don't know what a cold dog is, it's equivalent to getting hit in the mouth and smiling about it. Okay, I have it like somebody asked, and there's no they're like nonchalant about it. That's a cold dog. Okay, panting, tail wagging, a hog on it, they just there. All right, that's a cold dog, and a lot of people, haven't even experienced the cold dog, but then we talk about cold dogs. I'm like, man, look here. That's why I said in the comment section before I got on, you got a cold dog, a true cold dog, send that joker my way. You ain't got no time, send it my way. Because I will show you. You know what I'm saying? If that joker, listen to what I'm telling y'all. Knowledge is power. If that cold dog is put together right and got those desirable traits, it's gonna throw you good dogs. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, we got good to hear from you, the phenomenal BKK. You know, I think Mr. Twin just said, and I think we got one of them in here. Express yourself, Twin.
Hey, I'm just sitting back at BKK. He hit it right on the head.
Okay then.
Because we looking at bloodlines. I mean, I got litter. You know, we got dogs coming out the same litter, but we got this cold ass bitch. That bitch got a home. Because if I look back, what made me to be breeding to this shit anyway? I'm looking at the bloodline. Remember, we tell y'all all the time, ROM is a trait. You know what I mean? You should
Hold
be
on.
able to go back
Hold on,
and see
Mr.
that trait.
Hold on, Twin. Can you say that again?
Okay. ROM for us is a trait.
Yes, Lord.
I shouldn't have to wait to see what it produced when I can go back and see if she ain't got shit going for herself. She might be the one carrying that trait because everybody else got everything else. They just lacking what she lacking. But they ain't got what she got. That's the ability to produce. How you going to be able to figure that out? You know, think about them. Look at the ones that we talk about that were cold. Look how they was bred. All of them had ROM traits prior to them. So that you got all them hot males and maybe some good females, and you got that one that ain't just, she ain't thinking about that shit. That probably be the bitch that throw better than everything you got on the yard.
Yeah. So that's the big difference. Like y'all just said. It's a way total difference than having one that could be truly cold, but it's just a cold dog. It ain't got nothing. It ain't formulated off nothing. Versus having a cold dog that whole makeup is built off production, performance, and genetics. You it's more like trying to make a hat trick than having a little bit of concrete to stand on.
And that's what I meant when I asked about the different types of cold dogs, not their action, what you're seeing, like their abilities behind them. That's what I meant.
I tell you what, I'm gonna tell you how much I'm for a cold dog. If somebody got an accomplished dog, a grand champion dog, and then I know somebody has a true cold dog, as far as a breeding program, I'm gonna go with where my percentages are gonna give me greater, and that's with that cold dog, because that cold dog comes off of refinement at the end of the day. Majority of your accomplished dogs are scatterbred, and so that's low percentages. Now, of course, people want to gravitate to that, but we're talking about longevity. What's going to give you longevity, right? And so you always put yourself in a position to be in the game for a long time. So you have to set your foundation, and the foundation will stand better with a cold dog, a true cold dog, like for real. And I tell people that all the time. They get mad, because based off of what they've been taught. But I don't care about that. I care about dominance. Anybody who knows me, yeah.
But see, that's the point I was making when I use the examples I gave with the particular breeders I use. When they stay when you within a family of dogs for a particular time, like you said, like the word you use, the refinement process. They know these dogs. They've seen these dogs. They know which dogs need to go together. That's that part of that refinement process. So again, breeding a dog that's coming off a particular family of dogs that these dogs have produced over and over and over again. And boom, I got this one that's maybe cold. But now look how this dog is bred, because I know everything behind this dog. This dog is a better chance to get a bite of the apple to produce versus a dog that's not all quote unquote refinement process, and there's no type of legacy or history or known history behind this particular animal for it to get a bite of the apple. Okay, that's what I was saying. Versus you, say for example, with your dog, you bred your dogs over and over again. You know those dogs in and out like the back of your hand. You can make a better assessment on what should be bred, what shouldn't be bred, where this dog yada yada yada, because you know those dogs like back their hand in and out. Versus me coming in, grabbing a dog, I don't know anything about this dog, I don't know the history of this dog, and trying to make the proper decision on how this dog should be bred to produce something.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Laura, thanks to Shane for stopping by. And
But again, I guess that's what I'm saying as far as like the word you use, the refinement process. A dog that's coming off a history of performance and production, and making a decision on, you know what, I'm going with this dog. Or if I get this dog from a particular individual, hey, this dog, I can tell you everything about the first generation of the dog, the attributes they have, and I feel confident that if you breed this dog, you get something, you make something out of the dog.
Brother, I know this is me, but I hear some background going on. Okay, it kind of stopped now. Okay.
Now go ahead, make your point.
Oh no, I was just hearing, you know what I'm saying, background, and I was trying to listen to you, you know what I'm saying, but I was hearing like it was something that's going on in the background where I couldn't actually just hear you all the way through.
Is it still there?
No, it's gone now. It's completely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was my background. I think quiet behind me.
Okay.
But
So
if you
I got a
have, go
question.
ahead and make another point. If you have another point to make.
I got a question for you, BKK.
Yeah.
If you had a cold bitch, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you was gonna breed her, and you've done bred a good family of dogs off of her,
Mhm.
would you take her back to the family again, like add her back in, or would
That's
you outcross her?
Great question. Great question. Absolutely not. Because you got to understand, she's a defect. So why in the hell would I take her back?
Okay, I agree.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean to be cocky, but it's nothing debatable. But
Yeah, I get that. I agree.
You have to understand what they are. This is where you hit the home run, right? I'm gonna give y'all an example on breeding people too. All right, but I'm gonna say this. All right. All it is a breather. You need an out. All right. As soon as you make that out, that compatible cross, you know what I'm saying, with that cold dog, you're gonna hit a home run. But whatever you do, don't take it back into the family, because that's the reason why you got it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, what if you took her to another good male and did it again? Would you take them two families together or never?
Oh, wait a minute. Say it again.
If you took her and bred her to a different good male, you know what I mean, and built a whole nother line off of her, off of a good dog, same cold bitch, good dogs. Do you take them two lines together off of her or no? Never.
Wait a minute.
Just because she has it in both of them.
Wait a minute. If she has it in both of them.
If you breed her to two different good males and you make two different families of game dogs off of that cold bitch, do you take them families back together or no?
Oh, when you make an out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, you can. You need that breather, but you need a strong out, goddammit. And then on top of that, you know, that out needs to hit the home run. You know what I'm saying? Meaning you have just produced some phenomenal dogs, man, that meet your expectations of what a pit bull terrier, you know what I'm saying, should represent. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about, like, let's just say if we wanted to breed people, right? And let's just say we wanted to breed high IQs. Let's just say high IQs. All right. So basically, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take one high IQ person and breed it to another high IQ person. We're gonna get a high IQ offspring. Then we're gonna take that high IQ offspring back to the mom and daddy based off of the sex, right? All right. We're gonna keep doing this, right? Until a dummy is gonna be produced. Okay, a dumbass off of high IQ people, right?
Yeah.
But the reason why this baby right here is slow as hell is simply because the blood is too tight. Okay, that's why, you know, y'all may experience this in some inbred people, you know what I'm saying, be running around here stupid. But anyway, you know, if you got high IQ people, you know, that produce a dummy, then you take that dummy and cross it out to another bloodline of people. Then a genius is produced. The people that actually knew that dummy, they're gonna be like, man, how such and such dumbass produce a genius? The reason why he was able to produce a genius because he held the genetics of high IQ. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So you have to find. Listen, bro. Listen, y'all. I ain't bragging. I'm just one of the best that ever did it. If breeding was easy, everybody have good dogs. Okay, and majority of people will follow pedigrees, reading and shit, studying and shit. It ain't got shit to do with breeding. You have to be hands-on with the dogs. You have to pay attention to the dogs, the DNA, genetics. You see what I'm saying? Not a piece of paper, not a pedigree, none of it. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to be a dog man. And you pay attention to the dogs, and you'll learn along the way. Start paying attention and start being able to identify dogs that are good without looking at a pedigree, meaning a dog that can throw desirable traits. You know, how can people identify a producer without seeing ROM? That's what you have to be. Producer just simply means a dog that throws desirable traits, throw that same caliber dog or what it is or better. That's a producer. If you got 10 puppies, a dog that produce dogs that could actually make it, you know what I'm saying, to the woods or whatever the case may be, right? And none of them they all get into the wrong hands and none of them make it. That still doesn't take away that dog is producing those caliber dogs that actually go to the woods. You just need to get those, you just need to get better drivers. All right, because you got some fast cars. Fast cars can't win the race by themselves. You need badass drivers behind them. And so that's the difference. But at the end of the day, we talk about producing and identifying high caliber dogs. And a cold dog is one sure way to have a solid program and producing some really good dogs. Like I said earlier when I started, the difference is what produced the cold dogs. Did somebody take pedigrees of dogs within that family and then actually these dogs represented the undesirable traits of the family and they took it together and now they produced a cold dog, tight inbreeding, or line breeding? Or did they take the best of the best? I guarantee you, if they took the best of the best dogs within the family and a cold one appears, this is what I'm telling y'all. That dog is more valuable than most grand champions that are out here. It's just people don't know what to do with them. That's all it is. That's all it is.
The phenomenal. The
That's true,
phenomenal. The
Awesome
phenomenal
Baby.
BKK.
Awesome Baby made a lot of great breedings, and she produced whole dog that produced.
Hey, but you know the beautiful thing, y'all? I'm gonna say this short. The beautiful thing is understanding why. Not getting into a conversation that, oh, there's been these amounts that produced, you know what I'm saying, that were cold. No, when you understand why they're producing, then you're on another level. And then you actually exclude yourself out of the debate, you know what I'm saying, of this produced that was cold and this didn't. You need to understand why they're producing. You can actually say, hey, yeah, I got it that they're producing, but why? And so I just gave you guys the why. But I'm telling you, y'all, listen, whoever's, because somebody on here said they had a cold dog. Can I have it?
No.
If it's truly cold, I'm trying to tell you, y'all. Listen, bro. If anybody know me, y'all, listen, y'all. I don't deal with no BS. You see what I'm saying? I would have you looking crazy. Man, he got that. BKK got that dog, man. From your Yep, exactly. And if I didn't suck you out of it, somebody else would have sucked you out of it. You see what I'm saying? So I might as well do it.
Hey, that was a great take, BKK. Hey, man, you keep popping like that, you're gonna make somebody mad, sir.
Well, you know, hey, you got to be a bulldog yourself. And so,
Oh,
hey, look here. You got to know how to take that pressure, baby.
pop it. Pop it.
BKK came over there talking to you and you heard it. He squealed. He ain't like that. He ain't like that, boy. He ain't like it. Nah, for real though. But you got to learn how to take a little pressure, you know.
Yes,
and,
sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, and it's all, like I said, it was knowledge. It was free knowledge. You know, and I'm a fan of the breeze. Anytime I get to put somebody up on game, man, hey, man, get out of the sales pitch of this stuff, man. I'm gonna show you how you can be a step ahead of everybody else. You know, like for real. Hold
on.
Yeah.
Now, BKK, you make a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah.
But take it from somebody who didn't sell dogs, who used what they used.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how we think the same damn way, being two different type of people.
Yeah. I mean, but selling dogs and whether, you know, people don't sell them, they ain't got nothing to do with it. That's just, you know, you learn dogs. And I'm gonna tell you the beautiful thing about it, man. When I first got my dogs, I didn't know anything about pedigree. I was forced to identify that this dog was special. This dog needed to be preserved. You see what I'm saying?
Me too.
I studied. Hey, look here, y'all. I'm gonna tell you what dog that I'm a fan of, and it was a cur. No lie. Jeep Rhino. There was a dog out of Mississippi. Guy by the name of Paperboy bred this dog, right?
I remember that dog.
You remember that dog? Man, look at
I know that
that
dog. I know that dog.
that dog became registered American. That dog became registered American, man. You know what I'm saying? In two
Yeah.
races. All right. Now, and man, I studied. When I tell you, I understood that dog helped me understand dogs when it come to breeding. When you looked at him, he came off 2 champions that were Jeep. Two
Yep.
heavy Jeep dogs, man. Both of them were champions.
Yep.
And so they
Yep.
tried to do is they tried to say, okay, well, doggone, since both his mom and daddy champions, like real dog men do with the dumbasses. Since both of the mom and daddy champions, oh, he should be a champion. Now, what he was is he was a hard biting, pretty much curry. He ain't had a finish. All right. But that was the reason why he was short. He was short because of all that blood that was in him. All he needed was a strong out. Man, Paperboy took that dog, man, and made a 50-50 cross with a red boy dog. It was a Cottonham dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
And then he took those dogs out of that and made quarter crosses. Out of them 2 crosses, that dog became registered American. Man, listen here, bro.
Yep.
All it is, look, I know the guy that was there at the whatchamacallit that stopped Paperboy from even putting a doggone bullet to that doggone dog head. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because they were getting rid of that dog. Yeah.
Yeah, they were gonna get rid of him. Listen, on top of that,
Yeah, I remember that.
he sold it. He actually sold that dog for like 30, 40 grand to some white lady.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
she tried to do the same real dog man thing, and he quit on her ass again. You see what I'm saying? She ended up putting him down. But the dog still was a phenomenal producing dog. They didn't know how to utilize him. You see what I'm saying? And so, but I understood why he was why he fell short. He was just bred too tight. But when you get into when you dealing with these dogs and thinking that something is gonna throw just because it come off 2 champions. If I want something off 2 champions, I do want something that's related. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want it just like that because it's showing that the blood is working. It's the tighter form of it, and I'm a gamble not on that dog. I'm a gamble on that blood because it's working, baby. You see what I'm saying? It's showing that it's working. Now, if something that comes off of
Cut out, BKK.
and they now stay away from it, low percentages, and you will end up because you're paying $1 for the offspring, but you're gonna end up.
Yeah. I mean, some people don't sell that.
Okay, you're gonna end up basing your program off of that. You know what I'm saying, and it's gonna put you further and further behind. But yeah, y'all, how long y'all be doing this little podcast thing, man?
Every blue moon, it ain't consistent. It's just every so often. Trying to be more consistent at it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's a positive thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I like that. And like I said, because everybody.
You cut out BKK.
And so people want to go. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was just saying that was a beautiful thing. Because everybody, have the same objective, man, and want really good dogs. You see what I'm saying? And to get that knowledge on how to go about doing that, man, and sharing that knowledge, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's all I was saying.
Yes, sir. That's what we.
Yes, sir. That's what we about, man. It's the youth. We about sharing information. Like man think a lot. You know what I'm saying? Even sharing the unpopular opinion, because sometimes the unpopular opinion is really the truthful way. So
Yeah.
every time you see us rocking, man,
Hey,
pop out.
Hey, okay. Let me ask you that. Let me ask y'all this, man. What bloodlines y'all on here? What bloodlines y'all running?
Man, it be people be having different type of things, for people who be, BKK, you know how this go. You a vet with the social media, some people wanna disclose they lineage, and some people wanna have disclaimers,
Oh, they secretive.
Yes, sir.
They secretive like they was back in the day where, you know what I'm saying, one of the main rules was don't tell anybody, you know what I'm saying, what you're trying to do.
It ain't that secretive. I can tell you right now. I mean, pretty much it's Panther cross to some red boy boils was the initial breeds we made, and just making breeds off of that.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna tell you the reason why I asked y'all. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. The reason why I asked y'all because I want people of the day. I want brothers of the day to be legendary today. So in order to do that, you have to stop reciting dogs that been dead for 30 years.
Yep. That's why I call mine what I call mine.
Yeah, if you ask me what I run, BKK. Everybody know my dogs is BKK dogs. Even if it's a hater, man, fuck them goddamn BKK dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? the dogs have literally made a name for themselves. You see what I'm saying? And so we're gonna focus on the strain, Grand Champion Brick, Grand Champion Wonder Girl, Stone Cold Rock. Those are dogs that keen in the way Red Boy was keened in on. Because the thing about it is, man, a lot of y'all have good dogs, that maybe have 3 or 4 crosses in it. And whatever that dog name is, man, he's his own individual. Keen in on it. Now, the downside about it is your name ain't popping. You see what I'm saying? Like a legendary name. And so, and people going, hey, you got to go through it. Guess what? I went through it. I'm still going through it. You see what I'm saying? But you got to be a bulldog. Become legendary in your own right because that dog deserves that. If that dog went through what it went through to represent you, you know what I'm saying, and pass all your tests and this, that, and other, man, then that's what you ruin. Your name, that dog.
Salute that. Triple
Yeah.
salute that.
Yeah. So
That's why I put a name on my dogs years ago.
yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
That
Yes,
way
sir,
people would
man.
quit
Yes,
calling
sir.
them old dogs
PKK
from
in the
back in the day.
building, man. You had it was good, great knowledge, good, a good view, insight in the brew pen, in the breeding box. Everybody can't pop it like that. BKK. Everybody ain't got your knowledge. Everybody ain't been hands on with the breed for however long you been hands on with it. So,
Yeah.
anytime you got a man that's willing to share that, wise minds should listen. You feel me?
Yeah.
I respect it.
Oh man, yeah, most definitely, man. I just tell people just get away from the sales pitch. I've been in
Yeah.
I've been in sales all my life. You see what I'm saying? So when it came to the sales pitch of dogs, when I looked at pedigree and I saw the colors and I saw the labels and stuff, ooh, the pitch, that's the pitch. You see what I'm saying? I don't want that. I need to identify the truth. So I sought truth behind the dogs. What's gonna put me in a position to produce really good dogs? So I started to dig deeper into the pedigree, and then I saw the consistency of it. Then I paid attention to the black dogs, black and white dogs that nobody else paid attention to. And then I paid attention to the consistency of the black and white dogs. All of them came off a refinement process. The majority of them were bitches. And then and then I started to ask people, hey, why is that
Bro,
bitch?
it's crazy you just said that.
Hey,
Wow.
look.
Wait, that is crazy.
Look, I'm giving y'all jewels, y'all, for free. Listen, people ask, why, I ask people, why is that bitch in black and white? All because, the person that had or didn't want to put in color. I say, but the male is in color. So the colors represent working, you know what I'm saying? And the female, if she worked like that male worked, then she would be in color too, because they are showing, you know what I'm saying, if it's working, it's gonna be in color. But the female's always in black and white. But the female's always in black and white. Start paying attention to your old dogs, your Mayday dogs, your Jeep dogs, your Maverick dogs, your Eli dogs. Start paying attention to them. The female is always going to be in black and white. So you click into black and white, and then you'll see that she's a part of a refinement process. She's doubled up or tripled up on a particular dog family. So they was gambling, you know what I'm saying, on the genetics. And then when that hit home runs, it started to produce dogs that were colors in the male and also the female. So it'll actually produce, you know what I'm saying, what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? You accomplish dogs in the female and the male, but you start off with the refinement process. Also this, I'm gonna give you guys an exercise. Your best dog that you have, go all the way back to the original dog, because everybody's pedigree is gonna go back to the sources of the unknown. Okay, go all the way back till it says unknown. The first dog documented, right? But they start documenting it. Write that dog's name down, and I guarantee you 9 times out of 10 it ain't gonna be a champion. So why are you trying to start off and running behind champions? You need to run behind, you know what I'm saying, traits, dogs that have traits and can throw traits, and then you have to be man enough to make those titles. That's the way that it works. And if you do it that way, then you'll have dogs that work, and then they'll come off of foundation that can produce caliber dogs. You will never get caught running behind a dog, you know what I'm saying, that's got a title behind it and it ain't throwing you nothing. You see what I'm saying? Because it's scatterbred. I know this Grand Champion Brick. Man, I selected that dog when that dog was a puppy. He was special when he was a puppy. I didn't even understand about how he was put together until 3 years later, till I started looking at pedigree and understanding pedigree. He was a line bred type deadlift Travis Mayday dog. How could he not produce? You see what I'm saying? But I didn't know none of that. I just could identify that he was special. The whole litter was special. And I took him to the littermate sister, got stone cold. Man, the rest was history. The rest was history. And all because I paid attention to the dog. I paid attention to the dog, man. And then on top of that, like I said, you can breed them to a squirrel. Oh, BKK, what you could breed your dogs to? Man, you probably breed to a squirrel and get good dogs. Man, they potent. You see what I'm saying? And it proves desirable traits in the right hands. Desirable traits in the right hands turn into accomplished dogs. Now, I don't promote any type of illegal activities. I'm pretty sure, you guys don't either. I am going to say this, though. Somewhere miraculously in other people's hands, there was 2 grand champions produced and 2 champions off of them dogs. And off in one family where I selected, to pick as a puppy off of genetics. So somebody doing something wrong. And I ain't touching no woods. So if you out there in the woods and you be mad at me, oh, but BKK, he never been out there and he's so passive, bro. That ain't my fault. It's something that you doing wrong. You got to switch up what you're doing. Yeah, and the main thing, get rid of that real dog man mentality. Because as soon as somebody holler they're a real dog man, they ain't shit. Yep. 9 times out of 10, like for real. So it works. Never.
They just a man with some dogs, is what you saying, BKK. They just a man with some dogs.
I mean, following the system that don't work. You see what I'm saying? Nobody, bro. Listen, bro. Only thing it's what's worse and what's proven. You see what I'm saying? I don't ever want to become a part of the conversation. I tell you what, I heard people with useless conversations. Oh, Mayday had Mastiff in it. So what? Is it working? Is it producing? Oh, I don't care. Okay. Oh man, I heard, man, such and such man got squirrel in his dog, and you got one of them dogs. He good, but he using squirrel. I ain't finna get mad at him. I'm finna call up such and such. Hey, bro. There's rumors out there you got squirrels up in your program. Yeah, but this one of the best dogs I ever had. I need to know what family of squirrels you're using. You see what I'm saying? You pay attention to the things that matter. You want working dogs at the end of the day. That's what you want. And if you don't
that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game, working dogs.
You just don't want to get caught in a position where you don't have nothing that's working. Now, if you one of them people that have working dogs and you ruining your dog, that's another thing. But at the end of the day, there's some people, man, who actually want working dogs, but they don't have them at all. They dogs don't represent none of the desirable traits that they're looking for. They're not happy with their dogs. They're not happy with their program. Then they find themselves hating on somebody else because of what somebody else has. You don't want to be that person. Yeah, you don't want to be that person at all because you're on the losing end of the stick. You want to be the one that everybody talking about.
I did it the easy way.
Yeah.
I did it the easy way.
Okay.
You look at our dogs and all the champions that came down off our line of dogs.
Yeah.
It was basically, you're going to find Jeep, Yellow, Buck.
Yes, sir. Let me see
Made
what's
it.
over here.
And Awesome Baby and Honey Bunch.
Twin, you back on here?
Yes, sir. You're going to see all them champions that came down through our line of dogs. That's what they had in them. That's what was working. We just wasn't playing in our yard. Me, I'm going to grab one of them females and go find me a champion. If it's going to fit my yard, I'm going out there and breed to them. And I did that. That helped with my percentage of what I'm going to be feeding. Because, that they do come where the yard gets broken down. We don't really talk about the ones. We don't really talk about the ones that we don't use. We don't talk about the ones that we get rid of. And we talking about in my time.
Up, man. Brothers came up and showed up, man. Expressed themselves, their different opinions about cold bitches, holiday do's and don'ts. Different ways they take different dogs, Bulldog, we cooking. That's what's going on. Hold up, who is this in the chat? Mad Doctor, I see you. What's up with it?
Twin. I don't know if you heard the question earlier, Twin. But I'm gonna ask you the question. If you had a brother and sister, or what let's just say a brother and sister, right? And let's say you had just got back into the dogs, you took your time and raised them. They were showing you everything you wanted, but the brother would turn in the match. He wouldn't jump the box. He was scratching everything, but he would turn, but he would dominate throughout most of the match. And then with the sister, she would do everything you want, but she just wouldn't scratch. What would be your next move with those two dogs?
Mine, they be both gone. They wouldn't make my team.
Oh, y'all could have. Hey, when he gets through, y'all should ask me that one.
I mean, you go ahead and answer. I mean, you go ahead. You go ahead.
That's just my thing. I don't mess with those all the time.
Okay,
they gotta win. They gotta win. That's the first thing. If you can't win, if you win it ugly, that is not impressing to me. Because sooner or later you're gonna lose. In the game that I play in, back then, you can't have them kind of dogs thinking they're gonna go out there and win. Everybody ain't Hank. Okay? The majority of them ain't Hank. Dogs that do that don't like being done certain ways, even if they dominate. What happened when they can't dominate? That'd be found out on the yard. Most of them dogs just never made it on our yard.
That's any dog.
Yeah.
Hey, can I answer that?
You was cutting out, BKK. Say what you had said again.
I was saying that's any dog. There's any dog's day, you know what I'm saying, at any given time. So I mean that's any dog. But look, based off what he was saying, with that male, right? I had one like that, boy, back in the day. He was like a bullet son male named Maximus, right? Man, this joker man turned his ass. So that's all they do. Matter of fact, he turned so much they got tired of calling turn because he was coming. You see what I'm saying? Now, what he said was he ain't going nowhere. He scratched you every time. The only flaw that he had in that dog is he turned, right? Right?
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Okay, that's the only. He would turn and bite.
Turn and wait a minute.
Sometimes.
Turn and bite.
Yeah. He would turn and bite on you sometime. Not just turning just to turn, but he would turn and bite. He wouldn't back down to the corner or nothing.
Oh, I'm thinking turning in the square. You know what I'm saying? Like turn. Turn. Oh, you talking about he was mouthy on you?
He would redirect.
Yeah, but you know how they swing they rear in and turn and bite you. That type of turn.
Yeah. I mean, it take a special dog, man, to handle him. That's all that is.
Right. That's not really a turn, though. Anytime a dog turns for a position or another hope, they don't call that a turn.
Yeah. But I was kind of confused, saying up on it. So you talking about a turn is you handling and he turned around trying to yap at you to let him loose?
No, not you at the dog. I'm talking about while the show was going on. Every now and then he would do a turn and snap.
But he's scratching every time.
He's scratching every time.
I wouldn't necessarily just want that, but you can win with that. At the end of the day, if that dog's scratching, he can win. You see what I'm saying? If
I was a referee, I wouldn't call that a turn. That's not a turn.
Yeah,
I've seen dogs do that. Yeah, that's not a turn. If somebody was to call a turn, that's not a turn. A turn is when you're turning away from the action.
No.
Turning into the action, regardless of which way he's turning. It's not considered a turn because he's turning into the action, or he's turning to a better hold.
Not big fella.
Yeah. So basically, he's switching holds.
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's bad, about that, boy, like I catch a hater in position, boy, and once I get you there and I see you don't like it, I'm gonna stay there. I'm a bulldog, goddamn it. I'm gonna stay there. Once I see it, oh shit, he didn't like that. Oh, I didn't hurt him. You stay there. That's just a smart dog, though. But then you pick up and move. You pick up and move, then you can let somebody out of trouble and then they can come back to bite you, you know. But yeah.
Yes, sir. How would you, big fella? How you would move forward with that situation?
You talking about breeding wise?
I mean, that's one of the few things I never had an issue with. So, like, I never had a dog. I seen dogs do it, but I never had dogs that would do the turn and snap. Had a few that wouldn't scratch. Once they into it, they just wouldn't scratch. So, I mean,
that sounded like the female. He was describing the female. Yeah.
Is this? I don't know. If I was to keep doing it and they still wouldn't do it, then yeah, I'd probably move on to the next, more than likely.
I mean, I would also ask if I knew anything about any of the siblings. Are the siblings doing the same thing? Just to get a little bit more information. Just to get a little bit more information on, is this an individual thing he's doing? That could be something the way he's raised or schooled out is why he has that. Or hey, he got two brothers that do that, and he got three sisters that do that same funny style. Then that's something that's in that blood. And hey, he got a brother that made champion doing that. He got a sister going out for a championship, and the other brother and sister one-time winners doing that same stuff. Then that's more information for me to make another decision on, hey, move forward with this animal, or to make whatever decision I'm going to make with this animal by having more information on siblings, if possible. If I get more information about the siblings, and is that something these particular dogs carry, or he's just a one-off?
Well, I wouldn't be breeding a female to that male anyway, because, that just don't make, I just wouldn't do it. Hank is a turning dog, and he was an all-rim, and he didn't really throw a lot of dogs to turn like he did. He's the backbone of the
make
board.
all the difference, knowing, the whole background of the lineage.
Yeah, but that female, if she ain't cold, then she ain't got no business not wanting to scratch. That's how I look at it. If you ain't cold, then you ain't got no business not wanting to scratch. Now, if you, like he said, if you doing pandy things, like when you come in, you ain't scratching.
What's going on? Seems like people breaking up a little bit.
Am I breaking up?
Stay there.
Am I breaking up?
You was clear on my end.
Yeah, but I was going to say on the.
I was trying to say put points on the board behind what you are feeding. From that point, you're on your way.
Right.
That's a great start, Matt. You do that, you can just about control your own destiny. Depending on how good you can drive, though.
You pick about what you feed. That's all.
Yes, sir. Sound like we having a little. Everybody kind of breaking.
Everybody got
say.
Right.
Okay.
Everybody got quiet.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
But I guess my thing is, as much as I can, I want to be able to go off known variables. Going off the unknown, I don't want to operate that way in any aspect of life. I want to have as many known variables as I can so I can make a more educated decision on what I want to do and need to do in any aspect of life. That's why, certain things about my dogs I need to know or would like to know. And if I don't know or can't get the information or get a better understanding of what I'm looking at or trying to understand, then you kind of got to just move with whatever information you have and let it be what it's going to be. And then you pivot from there and move forward how you want to move forward. But like Twin them said, like the way they bred to their females to champions and grand champions. Going up those known variables of this is what this dog accomplished, and these are the particular traits that this particular dog possesses. That's a known variable that they're introducing into their breeding program.
Correct.
Or if you like BKK, even if you got a cold female or cold male, hey, first when you look at this dog is bred, and if I know the traits or the animals behind this dog, are these high producing animals, are these high performing animals that this particular animal is coming off of, which now lets me make a more educated decision on whether I want to breed this female or not breed this female or male. So again, it's having those known variables as much as you can. Have those known variables so you can move forward in whatever direction, whether it's for the racetrack or for the brood stand, brood box. In my opinion.
Hello.
Yes,
Yo.
sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh yeah, I got a
Doctor,
call.
I see you.
I got a call and got bumped off. Hey, I wanted to say something about that dog that wouldn't scratch. If anybody, I wouldn't breed it to that male. But I'm gonna tell you what I would breed it to if I'm gonna breed it.
Yeah, JJ, I respect it. That's about how my outlook on it. What else in the chat?
I think BKK, you ready to say something?
Yeah. All right. So
go ahead.
basically, the question with that female, right? The one that would actually work but wouldn't scratch. If you're gonna breed something like that, if you're gonna gamble on it, I'm gonna tell you the way to gamble. If you're gonna breed it, man, breed that joker to a male that's a crash dummy.
And BKK having a little.
Hey, can you hear me?
No, he good. We can go ahead, BKK. Keep going. We hear you.
Okay,
keep going.
What you do is you make sure you breed her to a doggone a crash dummy. Like I'm talking about a scratching dummy. Like that's how he may not have nothing else, but that joker gonna come. You see what I'm saying? He may not have no ability, whatever case may be. Long as his main thing that like he's coming. All right, because you have to put strong genetics in what she's lacking. You see what I'm saying? Because you want to produce a complete dog. So you got to bring a dog that, hey, he may lack what she has. She may have all the ability in the world. You know what I'm saying? She may be a good working dog. You know what I'm saying? And everything, heavy mouth. She just not coming. So, hey, take a dog that people call game plug, a game plug. take him to her, and you gonna have you something. That's the best chances for you to get you something when you got something like that. You always have to, whatever that they lacking, you always want to add to it. You take a dog from another family, you know what I'm saying, that has those characteristics that are strong. But that's the way that I would gamble if I was gonna gamble with something like that to get me a complete dog. Because the main objective when you make breeders, you always want to get you a complete dog if you're not trying to preserve blood for bruise.
You said the right word, gamble. That's what it is, a gamble.
Yeah, they bro, they all a gamble. They all a gamble. Hey, look here, you can have a world class dog, right? Man, that world class dog taking a gamble up on you, whether you can put him in a great position to win.
Tell me what history says about that.
But, I look at history, and history says it. When you look at those big kennels that's out there that was winning, those were certain things that they was doing to maintain them yards, and it worked. It worked for us. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a fact. It worked for us, and I can tell you how they got there. They used specific dogs. They had registered male qualities. use those dogs. And what the thing about it was the people who wasn't out there doing them, they were out there, like you said, the breeder make a decision, taking his female. Why did you breed to that dog? You know, breeders do that. The people who got the females, when you make those decisions, you asking them. I'm saying, what made you breed to that dog? So a lot of them big kennels, I observed what they were doing or how they were maintaining their yards. And all I did is follow behind that pattern because it all is a formula. You know, I can't tell y'all about 3/4 this, half a quarter, anything, but I can tell you
It's the
because the
blueprint.
papers don't mean nothing to me until I'm standing there inside the walls winning.
Hey, look here,
That's
man.
the only
Hey,
time
that's
they start meaning something to me. And
that.
that was back in my time.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've just made a post earlier today, you know what I'm saying, in the dog group, speaking on that. I said, a man, you know what I'm saying, that's hands-on his program, he's going to have a more of a longevity, you know what I'm saying, than a person, you know, who's hands-on, you know, with a pedigree. Because you have more people studying pedigrees, man, and actually dealing with them dogs, man. So it's a difference now. When you hands-on, you know what I'm saying, with them and you building programs, it's completely different from building a program just by looking at a piece of paper.
You're right. You're right about that, bro.
Yeah, because you know why? You know why, man? Because give all praises, you know what I'm saying, to the Most High. The Most High don't mislead you. Genetics is DNA. That's tied to God. All right, and so basically, DNA and trace, they're going to show you whether it's working or whether it's not working. Right? Okay, so it'll never mislead you. If it shows you that it's not working, it's not misdirecting you. It's letting you know you need to go in another direction. If it tells you that it's working, then it's letting you know that you're going in the right direction. You can't get that from paperwork. Paperwork only makes you feel good about the colors in it. You see what I'm saying? And there's a market that's flooded, you know what I'm saying, with people that know that, hey, look, they more infatuated with the paper. So if I got pretty papers, they're gonna be attractive, you know what I'm saying, buying this dog. And so there's no longevity, you know what I'm saying, in that. That's why I say the people that's hands-on with the actual dog, yeah, it's gonna be hard to fuck with them. You know, like as far as performance, you know what I'm saying, wise and longevity. Because you want to be able to, man, to keep this stuff, you know what I'm saying, consistent. Especially when you're a fan of the breed, man. I would like to think that everybody that's up in here, man, in this group chat is a fan of the actual breed. You know, I know, you know, a lot of people love the sport, but you have to respect the breed firsthand, you know, and then, you know, you can get the most out of the breed when you can respect it, you know? I'm just a fan of them, man, you know, and that shit, man, these dogs, man, these dogs something else, man. That's all I can say. I be wanting to say some other stuff, but I can't say it. I'm just in it to dominate. That's it. You know, infect the world with good dogs. Yeah, and then on top of that, the reason why I'm so passionate about giving knowledge, is because the dog game needs more educated people to stand behind the dogs. Everybody talk about the top side and the bottom side, but then nobody ever talks about the back side. If you ask anybody about breeding, oh, the top and the bottom. What about the back side? And then somebody asks, well, doggone, what's the backside? That's the man that stand behind that motherfucker. And that's going to be the difference of how far, you know what I'm saying, the dog really goes. Because you can have
Another great point. Another great point.
Yeah, you know. And so, I mean, man, I look at everything. I've seen, man, look here. I've rarely seen a dog, one that didn't make it. I've rarely seen it where it was his fault. And that's not good. It always needs to be the dog's fault. And 9 times out of 10, it's the man's fault because the man rusted dog because he didn't show him something at 12 months old or 13 months old. Oh, man, he showed that he was ready. No, bro. No, he showed you that he had desirable traits that you was looking for. You still got to take that dog, be patient and nurture him. Man, I ain't got all day to wait for these motherfuckers. All right, you don't need a dog. You don't respect the dog. Because the main objective is to put the dogs in the best position to represent. You see what I'm saying? That's why there's different levels of coaching. You know, there's different levels of management. You have bad coaches, you have good coaches, you have great coaches, you have Hall of Fame coaches. You have coaches, man, that can take less talented players, man, and beat you. And you got talented players just because they outcoach you. You got people, man, that race cars and have an actual slower car, but then they didn't beat you and you got the faster car because they know how to handle they slower car better. I'm gonna tell you the gifted people. Hey, y'all want to know who the gifted people are with these dogs? I'm gonna tell you who the gifted people are. The valuable people, the most valuable people in dogs. They'll take a mediocre dog and mollywop your ass with it and shake your hand at the end of the day and tell you had the better dog. That man was an asset to his dog, and you was a liability to yours. Now, because of your sorry ass, and I ain't talking about nobody on here, you know what I'm saying, personally. I'm just saying, not literally. But the other person's sorry ass that had the better dog, now the dog's reputation got to suffer because you wasn't good enough. Now his dog actually gained a better reputation because he knew how to utilize that dog. He knew how to get the most out of that dog. See, so many of us, man, we sit up there, man, and we see the limelight when it comes to dogs, and then we want that, and we want it quick, fast, and a hurry, but we don't even see what it took to get to that level. We don't see the patience that it took. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the problem with people. Those dogs just don't pop up overnight. It takes patience. Oh, Chinaman took 4 years, till he finally crunk up, and then he was unbeatable, and then open to the world. Nobody wanted to mess with it. But guess what? For 4 years, he wouldn't do shit. And then what's even crazy about that? How in the hell do you pick a Chinaman dog and try to fast lane him when the main dog took 4 years? Make that make sense. So the community needs better people. The community needs gentrification. You need to take the low quality people out there, Joker, and put better quality people in. Then that's how you build value within the breed, and the breed will survive. You will get better percentages of turnouts when you get better men that stand behind the dogs. Because that's all you want at the end of the day, man. You want them dogs, man, to get the best chances. The ones that don't make it, don't make it. But don't let them not make it, you know what I'm saying, because of something that we as men, you know what I'm saying, done in order for them, you know what I'm saying, to fail. And so,
That's why that's why they say there's levels to this stuff.
oh, bro, that's most definitely levels to it. You see what I'm saying? Most definitely levels. But like I said, man, we have to start teaching. And then, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm gonna tell you, bro, some people gonna be mad because they done talked about me. They've been talking about me for so long, bro. I'm gonna neglect the hell out of these niggas when they finally get it. You can't get none. Because at the end of the day, I gave them the knowledge for free. I put them on game. I told them exactly what to do, how I was able to do what I did. Nobody had no reason to hate on me. Nobody had no reason to hate on me whatsoever, man. Now, I got a certain amount of dogs. I got the highest quality dogs when it comes to my bloodline. I'm not going to have a high volume of them. We're going to probably keep 10 dogs at the most. All right. And then we're going to go from there. And for anybody, you know what I'm saying, who's smart enough to get on, bam, they get on. The rest of everybody, they can keep on talking. I don't care about none of that. Only thing I care about is infecting the world with my good dogs. That's it. It's all about quality at this point. And I need more people, man, to really think about that when it comes to their dogs. Because like I said, I'm a fan of the breed. Them dogs deserve it, man. The pit bull, y'all do know the pit bull ain't nothing but the black man in the dog world. I can get in deep now. But if y'all want to wait on that, you'd be like, okay, country, you getting too deep. But that we may need to go to another day for that. We'll hold out on it. But it's deep, man. It's not just about dogs, you know what I'm saying, or selling dogs or anything like that. It's really about domination. It's about what that dog represents. And that dog is a powerful dog, but that dog need to be respected. And the men and women that's in the breed need to respect that dog. And you can get the most out of the dog. You actually see your true percentages because nobody really see the percentages. When people speak of percentages, you really don't see the percentages, right? Because you're taking account of the dogs that got ruined. But at the end of the day, guess what? If a tree fall in the woods, right, and nobody's around, do it still make a noise?
Yes, sir.
It still make a noise even though nobody was there. Okay, so basically, when that dog produce dogs that are its caliber, okay, so if somebody produced a dog, right, and it produced a dog that's of its caliber, meaning you don't stand the sire, and I end up getting an offspring that's the same caliber, but then I'm not good enough to put the dog over, does that mean that the dog is not a producer? He actually is the producer. I just wasn't good enough to put his ass over. You see what I'm saying? I just misused the dog. But it doesn't take away that the dog is actually, you know what I'm saying, producing the same caliber dogs that he or she is. You have to learn how to identify producers without looking at pedigree. Man, there's so many people, man, that's actually producing some really good dogs. They'll have one, man, and they putting it out there to the wrong people. You be like, damn, man, them dogs consistent. Damn, man, the high percent of them going to the what's called, man, they just running through them. They taking them too fast. They need to be in some better hands. You'll be up there at a hog show, and you actually see a talented dog. And then guess what you're gonna do? Hey, bro, before you ruin that, hey man, hey, look, pick it up. I give you, I give you this for it, so you won't take a loss. You see what I'm saying? Because you actually see something in that dog, and you see they don't know what the hell it is that they have. And especially if you know what you know anything about the dog, the family of the dog, the history of the dog, the characteristics, the traits of that family. You see what I'm saying? That those things like that give you an edge. You
Yes,
know.
sir.
So I mean, there's so much in it. But hey, have y'all heard that what you call it? The Don Mayfield. It's actually funny. Don
In
Mayfield
such
talking
a way, in
about.
such a way.
Mhm. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, yeah,
BKK.
yeah. Have y'all heard that? Have y'all seen that video of Don Mayfield speaking up on Gary Hammonds?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
how he took the dog, they was ready to put the pistol too.
look, look, hey, Don Mayfield was a hater like a motherfucker. Look, dude, he was like, wow, does somebody that's never conditioned a dog be able to ride on conditioning? You know what I'm saying? And he went and started speaking on the guy as far as how he got started. That's when he started speaking jewels, but he was hating on him, but he was speaking jewels. And he was like, he said that was certain particular guy that died, and Don Mayfield had picked up his dogs. And he said those dogs came from the alligator family, right? All right. So when he said alligator family, he said alligator family, kick in, family. All right. And so basically they started doing what real dog men do. Don Mayfield did. They tested them dogs, right? And the dogs that didn't turn out, what they ended up doing is they was gonna put them down. But Gary Hammond said, hey, look, I'll give you, man, $20 or whatever the case may be for that dog. At least you'll get that much out of it, you know what I'm saying, before you put it down. I'll take it, right? And so Don Mayfield said, okay, well, he actually got some good dogs out of those dogs and gained a reputation for him. And he actually got famous off of our curs. He didn't get famous off of your curs. He played you. That's what he did. He understood the guy that had those dogs had a particular family of dogs that came from a refinement process, and he understood the reason why them dogs wasn't doing what they supposed to do when you're a real dog man and you taking some dogs and just throwing them out there and they the tightest form of some blood. So he gambled on the way that they should have been gambled on, and he crossed them out and he hit a home run. So while he bad mouthing the guy, Gary Hammond's talking about, well, while he bad mouthing Gary Hammond's talking about, Gary Hammond's took his curves. No, Gary Hammond's played you because you thought that you was a real dog man doing what real dog man was supposed to do. And Gary actually knew how to get the most out of those dogs. And you can't fault a man for knowing how to get the most out of the dogs. You know what I'm saying? You have so many people who are dog men, they one dimensional, but you don't want a one dimensional dog. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you got one dimensional dog men that, they want everything perfect. Or, this don't meet my expectations. Nah, it ain't your expectations. It's just you one dimensional. So, you know what I'm saying? If a dog, does this right here, that's something I'm not dealing with. No, you just one dimensional. It takes a dog man to deal with multiple type of dogs and know how to deal with multiple type of dogs, to deal with different type of conditions, because you can't even take a one type of conditioning and have it to where it benefits all dogs. No, all dogs are different. All dogs ain't gonna work the same. You see what I'm saying? So all dog's body, is not the same. So everything is different. So you can't just be one dimensional. You got to be well rounded. And people want well rounded dogs. Well rounded dogs deserve well rounded men to stand behind the dogs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if and understand this, man, you can't, just because the dog is an accomplished dog, right? You got a grand champion. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. If you got a grand champion, right? Everybody that's on the board, If he's a grand champion in my hands, would he be grand champions in everybody's hands on the board? If he's a grand champion in one person's hands,
Ooh, BKK, you know that's a popular question that's been going on the panel and several panels. You know, is it the blood or is it the dog? You know what I'm saying? Is it the dog? Is it the handler? You know,
but this,
uh, uh,
it's,
um,
yeah,
I think, if the dog is, if we all playing on a certain level playing field, everybody's on a certain level, and the dog is a grand champion. He is what he is, you know, or he's going to become what he is, and we all playing on the same level playing field. Then yeah, but in reality, no, because what you do with the dog might not be what get done with another person's hands, because it's always going to be human error. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes might be better than the next man eyes. The next man eyes might be better than yours. Your work ethic, you might have more work ethic than the next man. So yeah, all that's gonna vary. You know, that's my
right,
answer to that. BKK.
right. All right, I'm gonna tell you something. You got a firearm made by the top manufacturer, the best firearm ever made in the world, right? All right,
Yeah.
is that guaranteed when you pick it up and you shoot it that you're gonna hit your target because the manufacturer made it?
New.
Okay, then dogs are the exact same way. The only thing that you can actually expect, man, from a really good dog is for that dog to have the tools. Listen, man, listen. Dogs don't produce grand champions. Listen, if a dog can say, okay, well, he produced a grand champion, he didn't produce the grand champion. He produced the dog that had the tools. The man that stood behind the dog is what made it a grand champion or champion. This is the way that it works. Y'all following the sales pitch. You see what I'm saying? Now, if the dog produces the grand champion, that means no matter who wins, that dog get up in, he's gonna be a grand champion regardless, because that's what that dog produced. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it doesn't work that way. The man that stands behind the dog makes the difference. That's why, you know, it used to be a question like back in the day, like who gets the credit, the breeder, or the person who actually owns the dog when it comes to a dog's accomplishment. And both of them are hand in hand. As a breeder, I would say, hey, look, without the breeder producing the dog, then the person who had the dog wouldn't have anything. But the truth of the matter is, you know what I'm saying? The person who has the dog dictates how far that dog goes. You know, the breeder can only produce a dog that have the tools. That's it.
Hey man, look,
That's it.
for me, a great example, if you ever want to just understand what he really talk about, is look at Victor Acart and how he did Mayday. Remember, Victor didn't make all those champions. He was the breeder of them. But Victor knew everybody who had those dogs, that he could reach out and make a phone call and say, hey, I need you guys to start making sure these guys are posting these fights. And he stood behind that simply because he wanted to make sure his dog got the credit. But Victor knew who he was putting them dogs, getting the access to that blood. Victor was the creator of it. But the man who made Victor knew what he was doing. Don't think he was just out there doing shit. No, in the early days, Victor knew exactly what he was doing because we knew all the people. We were just lucky enough to get in there.
So Victor murder was premeditated, huh?
I mean, history would show you that.
Yes, sir.
Listen, when we first told the story, he made that phone call, twin, I need you, them boys, to get out there and start registering them fights or nobody's getting papers, period. And he meant that. Hell, Barracuda had about five before he even got his first one registered. 4 or 5.
Oh.
So, yeah, Victor was on top of that, but then he knew how to reach out and make sure everybody was doing what everybody was supposed to be doing. Those who wasn't doing it, hey, call them over there, let them know, twin. And Victor barely spoke good English, but he knew he stayed on top of that business. And then in the long run, goddamn, you got all these 1,500 damn uh, offspring that he had. He just took it to a whole new level with the business side. But I'm gonna just put it on the first 18. They the ones who set the mark. All the ones who was part of that first 18 before he left the States with no losses. Other than the Noriega one, that's like BKK was saying. Here's a dog to 1-4, going for 5, and a greenhorn bought the dog. Noriega, a greenhorn, thinking he could do what the Havana boys could do. And look what happened. Noriega lost to Ajax. I don't think Noriega would have lost to Ajax if the Havana boys had put him up against Ajax. He still killed Ajax. So think if he was in the Havana boys' hands, Ajax would have took that L. Because that young boy didn't know what he was doing.
Hey, ask y'all a question.
Go ahead.
If a dog, that's an accomplished dog, right? You know what I'm saying? He mess around and loses. Would you still want to breed to him?
It depends on how he loses. Was it a technical error? Was it a foul on the play? Did he stop? Was it a technical error in the handling of the dog? Did it, with the conditioning or what, something like that? You know what I'm saying? I think those play a factor on deciding which way to go with it, BKK.
I tell
Think about all them Boyles and Bolio dogs and them Jeep dogs that quit just still got bred. Eli dogs was known for it. So yeah, that
you.
didn't stop nobody from doing shit. Look at all them
Okay.
L's. We talk about them L's.
You know,
They look over them L's, and you got to ask yourself, why are they looking over these L's? Because of
Yes,
the
sir.
blood, and it be because of the blood.
what,
Period.
Oh,
Can't be
what,
because of the dog.
there's good courage
oh.
and there's bad courage. You don't breed to curs that come from crosses that didn't work. Now curs that actually get put in to certain hands that's off of good blood in the same family that's tight, and they get labeled a cur, they fall short. Okay, you can gamble on those, but anything that comes from a cross that didn't turn out, bro, come on, why breed it? It's showing you that it did work. You see what I'm saying? It's a cross that did work. Well, there's a difference between crosses. There's a difference between refinements, and bloods that's too tight, and so basically, when you hit that point where it's just too tight and those dogs start to lack because of tight blood, what's going to be your savior is that you did the refinement process correctly, which means that you took the best of the best dogs to get to that dog. If you took the best of the best dog to get to that dog, you're okay. You can gamble with that. But hey, look, I'm gonna tell you how this. All right, this is why you don't necessarily focus on losses, because you can make any dog a loser. Y'all don't believe it? I'm gonna give you this example. Give me 10 dogs, right, that are known producers, registered Americans, and champions and grand champions. Give me 10 of them. All right. You don't have to just say it literally, but listen. But take them dogs. If you take them dogs, there's already 10 proven champions, grand champions, and Rome dogs. Take them and put them against each other, right? All right. And at the end of the day, how many winners you gonna have when it's all said and done?
If you do just
You're only gonna have one.
yeah, you're
You're,
gonna have one.
you're only gonna have one. But guess what you just done? You just created 9 losers that was already known to be champions and grand champions and producers. You see what I mean?
It's a valid point.
Did I lose you?
You got a valid point.
No, I'm trying to tell people that. I'm trying to show people how you got to get out of the sales pitch. You see what I'm saying? You have to start paying attention to things that matter. Any dog will lose. You know what I'm saying? Any given point. Like if you take one that's 10 years old, whatever it is, maybe, and put him out there, he's subject to lose. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
you don't go off of that. Once it actually showed that it's proven showing that it can throw those desirable traits in those caliber dogs, that can never be taken away. Never. Okay, so if it's already shown that it's doing that, and you put that original dog out there and it loses, oh, so now he's supposed to throw less caliber dogs because you mismanaged it.
But that's how history was. That's why how history was made.
I mean, but at the end of the day,
Everybody had their time in history. The Bulls dogs, the Bolio dogs, the Eli dogs. You know, they all had that time where somebody had to come through and start handing out them losses because that's the only way you start respecting, you know, what was taken out, you know, the leading bloodlines. History shows us how this went. We know Eli's was the first, you know, they was out there doing their thing. Then the Bolio dogs, you know, they start doing their thing. But then what start happening is you start looking at the Boyles dogs. How did they come taking over? The Kingfish dogs. I mean, I've lived through an era that where I seen a whole lot of generations of dogs that was being monster bloodlines that immediately start changing. But I noticed over the years that when I look at the registered merit list, you know what I mean, and the champions over the years, you know, the names don't change. Y'all still calling Jeep dogs and Red Boy dogs and, you know, all, but you don't hear them saying that about the Kingfish dogs. You know, nobody really talks about the Klaus dogs. If it don't be for the Bolio and the Boyles as men, because we still look, Patrick just died. Mr. Boyles just died. Mr. Boudreaux just died. Look at the run that them men had carrying a total bloodline based off their name. The years, the amount of dogs, you know, and neither one of them was perfect. Neither one of them bloodlines was perfect. But they are respected enough that we can still talk about them after all these damn years. Now, how long is that supposed to last? You know, because I lived long enough I lived through the Tudor days. You know, they coming in the early '80s and Earl Tudor and going like Barney and all them kind of dogs were still popular in books and shit to us because we were new to the game. You just learning the people. Hell, I'm standing on James Edwards yards, you know, talking to them and didn't even know who the hell they were until leaving Carolina and finding out that hell, we on some real dog man shit. And the dogs that they gave us is evidently supposed to be some good ass dogs. But then we were the greenhorns. So that's why I say everybody had to start somewhere. I heard BKK speak about his early days and not knowing. You heard us talk about our early days and not knowing. So history don't change for nobody. We all gonna go through the same circle. That's just like the circle of life. The circle of the bulldog game is all the same. Everybody eventually gonna go through it if you trying to be, you know, something. No, why have these dogs if you're not trying to do something?
Facts. That's how I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it. You know, you got to be trying to. You know, you should be trying to have a point to prove or try to accomplish something. You know, if you got them, and you know, like BKK said, you not only is you doing yourself a disservice, you doing the dog a major disservice if you don't let the dog put the dog in a position, the best position to be able to express his or herself in the best way possible. You know. Yes, sir. Everything kind of went quiet.
Hey man, I appreciate you guys having us on here. You know, for all you guys in the chat, all you listeners out there, I appreciate the fact that y'all listening. Anybody get a chance to hear what we talked about tonight? Get a pen and piece of paper and at least write some of this shit down. Because sitting there just coming to these shows, just listening and not trying to utilize some of it to apply to something that you already doing, being you getting this game right here for free, and you don't take advantage of it, then sometimes it just pays to find some other kind of breed, or find something else to do, because that's the sole purpose of us talking and giving out this knowledge, because competition is what these dogs are all about, regardless of what you're doing. A working dog is a working dog. A working dog will always be a competitive dog. You're always going to want to test your competitive nature, whether it's climbing a wall, running the treadmill, or chasing a damn hog. That's what these dogs will bring you. And it's okay to want to have the best of the best and produce the best of the best. Because what other reason would you be listening to us any damn way?
Absolutely. And what's gonna happen, Mr. Twin, is if you don't take notes now, when you're gonna come to a situation where you need it, and then you either gonna have to try to backtrack and find the information, or you're gonna want to try to call somebody that already done relayed the information, happen to force them to regurgitate some stuff that they already said, and you could have already had the information to begin with. So yeah, and then sometimes the person you're gonna be called, they ain't gonna always be there. So yeah, take notes. I do. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I hate to hear it get quiet when them crickets come, because it's
Yes,
like,
sir. Can you hear me, Mr. Twin?
yes, sir, I hear you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it's some people.
I know we have said a whole lot tonight, and and it's real. I like the conversation simply because of it's real. You got a lot of great points, and it's not like we all over the place.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes,
you
sir.
within
Yes, sir.
listening of this conversation, there's something in this conversation for everybody.
That's a fact.
Even regardless of what your point is or how you feel about it, the good thing is you can take some of this information and just go check it out for yourself. I'm always telling the people, don't just take what I say or what I do. Go put some work in.
That's the only way
Can't
you're
knock
gonna truly
nothing
get it.
that I do or I've done unless you've done what I've done.
That's a
And I
fact.
don't make it no secret that I done what I seen other people doing, and it worked for me. So there's no other way. There's no other way for me to tell you how to do it than the way I done it. And the way I done it, I still tell you where I learned it from. People who have already done it. That's why I show you the success based on the people that I'm copying off of. And hey, I got to give it to them. That's the sole purpose of why we do this, because I don't never want you guys to forget that part, because that gives us the late 80s and all the way through the 90s into the early 2008. That's a long run of being these bulldogs dealing with people and great dogs and still have something to show for it. Not everybody was able to do that.
Yes, sir. That's a
And I
fact,
feel like
Mr. Twin.
we took the shortcut. We did exactly what they were doing, using the same type of dogs. Yeah, when it came down to us and making our damn breedings the way we wanted to make them breedings, regardless of how y'all felt about each other, y'all know we gonna do what we gonna do any damn way. But that's how that game worked. Couldn't nobody tell us what we couldn't do, couldn't do with our dogs, even though we working with your blood. But
Yes,
then that's where the
sir.
confidence comes from. At least they gonna
Yes,
be
sir.
doing it. They gonna be using it, and then everybody peek over and say, "Well, Twin and them got this and got that."
Oh,
And then all of a sudden, everybody trying to get this what the Twins doing. But that's all right, because why would I give a good dog man a bullshit ass dog when Victor gave us a chance to breed the Mayday on 2 occasions and we didn't pay shit? Those
nah,
type of situations.
that wouldn't make the best of sense. Would it, twin?
No, it don't make no sense to me.
Yes, sir. Like I said, definitely take notes, man. You know, these guys ain't gonna be here all the time, and you, like you said, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're gonna have to go back and you come a time where you're gonna need this information. You're gonna have to go back and trying to find what you're looking for, and you can get it right now and go on and put it up. You know, I think it's better that way. You know. We at the youth, so we learning, man. Salute everybody, man. It was a great cook up, great information being shared, great point of views, unrefutable knowledge and wisdom from some great brothers. You know, I love it.
I want to give a big shout out to BKK. This is my first time sharing a panel with you, man. So I found it, very interesting and an honor.
Yes, sir. BKK come through with some major news you could use. You know, I came across the brother back in the gap. You know that what he was talking about when it was a lot of controversy around his name. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against the brother. He came through tonight and display some phenomenal knowledge. You know, that's why I was using that word phenomenal, because he always use it, man. You know, and I shot him out. You know what I'm saying? It was a great look. It was a outstanding look, phenomenal look. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He know what he talking about, whether you like the person or not. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the knowledge. So salute that man.
Well, I'm a man about the product. Give a damn what people say or do or think about a person. Just sit back and just look at their product. Their product speaks for who he is, regardless of who like it, don't like it. They don't like Tom Garner either. Didn't like David Tan either. Don't like us. Shit. So come on, man. Hey, if
Yes,
they ain't hating
sir.
on us, then we ain't doing something right. That's how I look at it. Big
Yes,
shout out
sir.
to the man.
Salute, man. Salute to you, twin, man. I think it was Mr. Jones was in here. Elevator came through, man. It was a good night at Bulldog U, man. Good look for the holiday season, man. I know we'll probably see Mr. Twin them tomorrow, man. You got the panel open, Mr. Twin. I come up and rock with you, man. It's always a greet when real players meet, man. And you're a big time player to me. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying, the knowledge of the dogs and the weight you carry. So salute that, man. We're gonna wrap this up, man. Anybody got something they can say, you know what I'm saying? Make your shout outs, man. We're gonna call it a night.
But yeah, just touching in, like I said, it's a beautiful thing when men can have conversation. From different points of view, different levels of experience, but like I say, all within the same understanding of it's about the dog. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? So
sir.
it's always a beautiful
Salute.
thing when men can conversate and discuss different
We
things
outie
from
5,000.
exactly. So a beautiful thing. Appreciate all the brothers.